Okay, so YouTube.
Stream finished, it says. Okay, close that. Average view duration 3 minutes 51 seconds. It's you.
Oh yeah.
Watching for the whole time.
Yeah. Look at that. That's dedication right there.
Woo. Refresh.
Okay.
Let's just try that
now,
instead of
live. Cool.
no. Don't do that. Exit and then click there. And it's still live. Yeah, see, it shows excellent condition. It's going to kick back up in a second. Before it was showing like offline grayed out here, but then now it came back in. So
Oh, there we go. Okay.
it came back in, as I said. You've been watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was like the first words I could tell because I gestured over like this and then back.
Oh, you saw it.
That was
I
all I
love
saw.
those
Like,
delays.
yeah. Well, and it's not too bad.
It's usually like at most like 30 seconds.
Oh man, yeah, and that bothers me when it gets to be that far off. I'm like,
Yeah,
come back to me, please.
There's wait. Okay, so
This
is
are you still watching games?
okay. So live. So here, actually, test. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna hear the audio. So probably get a.
Okay, so one of the things I wanted to do was figure out if this big giant purple box that we're taking up a third of our screen with,
Needs
or a
to
quarter
be
of the screen
that
with,
big.
well, if it even works.
Oh,
Right, so I'm gonna go bid on something.
Good call.
So we're gonna go over to the auction.
Are
We're
you
gonna-
still watching?
Yeah, that's my brother James who said he was watching. So I can bid now. Let's go look at items. He is still watching.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Cool.
That's support right there.
So there was, well, he's also like, he's a late bird. He's someone who stays up late more often than I do.
Yeah.
I'm in bed at like 9 most nights because
Not this guy.
I gotta get up at like 4 to get something done before I go to PT, before I go to work. So it's like there's always something else.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I'm up at 4 most days. So I'm gonna bid on this thing because nobody can know, but because I got it. This is one I brought in. There's a handful of things that like I found and brought into the auction. And when I brought it home, I was like, "Oh my god, did you get that for me?" No, but I
no, I
could
did not.
get it for you at the auction. So we're gonna find that.
That
thing.
would be funny.
We're gonna find that thing. We're gonna view it. And we're gonna see if we can bid on it. Place a bid.
Okay, so how?
Yep.
Were we
Start there. Place bid. Yes, I'm sure. Back to auction. Okay, so now the question what I have is, does that thing show $5? Because that's like the whole campaign, which I think might just be donations.
Correct.
Because on the main page you can also make donations. And if it's not, then I'm curious if the auction might have an overview kind of thing, the same way that one is. It's not showing that. Although it might also just be one of those things where you load this thing up and it's frozen, you know. Because we have this. What if I change this? Okay, that's changing. Excited to have everybody take a look at this one too when he comes on. It's
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a World War I Lego set. That so there's a company called Brickmania that does military Lego sets, custom design on their own. It's not here.
Damn.
Yeah, I know, but you can bid on it if you want. But my guy on the board, who's a big Lego guy, does a lot of military Lego stuff.
That is cool.
He got it quite a while ago and just has not gotten around to doing the video on it for his channel. So it is still sealed in box, brand new.
Oh.
Hasn't even been opened. So you get it mint condition if you bid and win on this one. So like we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Don't want to give away some of these items. Like you'll learn more about this one and the guy who's donated it and is on the board. He was one of the founding 3 of us who signed all the initial paperwork and needs to sign some paperwork now.
Just in case.
I know you're not watching, but
when you do,
I need that signed. Yeah. There's always so much, and that's one of the things I've learned with this is, when I started the nonprofit and was like trying to learn as much as I could about running a nonprofit, I started finding, doing what we do. I think being our generation and younger, is I started looking for podcasts. Right, I'm like, okay, someone out there is talking about this and has talked about it for hundreds of episodes already, right? How do you run a nonprofit? What are the rules and guidelines for it? Like, how does this work? And so I found one. It's called Nonprofit Everything, and they run out of Vegas, and they basically what they do is they take in questions from the audience and they just answer those questions on the podcast.
Huh.
So they get 2 or 3 questions per episode, and I listened to every single episode over the year of 2022. Basically, I listened to every single episode. We went we drove the RV to Colorado Springs, right? So we went from here to just north of Vegas to the Air Force Base to Nellis. If you didn't know this, military base RV parks are usually extremely affordable. So we stayed at just 20-30 minutes out of Vegas, $25. $25 a night for the RV park, and that's power, water, hookups, everything. We just have to tow our RV there, right? So we can travel like that, and it's pretty nice.
But what about for veterans?
So, you still have access to base, right? You have base access.
I believe so.
You got a
I know that you can just
Yeah.
get on with like your driver's license normally, or is that different now?
You probably need some kind. You have a veteran ID card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just have that card, you're good.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
So, and then most national parks are free.
Yes.
Most states, the state parks are free. So that's kind of one of the mechanisms that we're going to leverage as we talk about our programs and what it is that we do. And we're going to be coaching folks coming into our programs and getting into camper, basically, right? And with the intention of going out and traveling the country. Hey, look, you can stay on bases for super cheap. You can stay at national parks and state parks in most states for totally free. And now you've got a method through which you can now have a place to park and have connections and have resources and stuff available to you that doesn't cost you anything, or it costs you very little.
I had no idea that. I'm still tripping out about the base, like getting on base now.
Yeah.
Because I remember, at least when I was in, like there wasn't really I used to get my dad on to Camp Pendleton all the time. Like he'd just be behind me. I'm like, yeah, we're going surfing.
Yeah, and so you gotta think. Well, actually, you would have been in after it too. So before 9/11, there was a whole lot less of a concern. Like you could get on and off pretty easy.
Yeah, it's pretty
after that, it was 100%. You had to have an ID,
military. Some sort of reason.
Yeah, somebody just I think got registered so they can bid too.
I think it might just be.
Nope, just a donation on it. So now I'll see if the donation comes in.
So that's what I'm doing as we speak.
Oh yeah, doing the same thing? Just do the donation?
I'm trying to sign up to...
So I did get an email telling me that I'm currently the highest bidder on the object that I bid on, which was kind of cool. But the reserve price hasn't been met, so I can't win it. It lets me know that too.
Oh.
Which is kind of cool. So that's all coming through on email mostly. I think you can set up on GiveButter. It's so weird. You can set up on the auction site. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
To have it give you your information through text message too. So instead of getting emails. So I feel like this is just not refreshing. Let's see if there's a way to maybe it is on this page here, but the stream it did as soon as I pulled it up. So it is I need to be looking at it in order for it to update. And so that's the $10 donation only. That's not the bids. Because I would love it if it could show any of the bids for all of the items added up, what the current total available would be. That should be able to work that way. And I wonder if there's just a setting or something to it maybe. But it's cool that that's there. So the way this was supposed to work is, say you're running an auction or an event or something. You can keep this on screens at the event while people are bidding or doing other things, and they can see where they're at. Scan the code to go to it, and then but also see where are we at in progress, So I think I'm gonna see if I can find a different thing to potentially replace this view on our screens here, because I do want that to be giving us all kind of heads up. But you see that there's the donations specifically coming in, and maybe that's what this is. Maybe this screen or this part will show us just the actual straight up donations rather than bids on items. Are you looking at items now? What are you doing?
Whoa!
Some of the stuff in the auction.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so I don't think I've put a lot out on Instagram, but I haven't been able to get all of them. So one of the things we're gonna do during a window of time when we don't have anybody on, I'm gonna actually record and edit and then publish an Instagram video while we're in here. Like we'll have it on camera recording the other video.
See, that's actually kind of cool because people will see it
behind
real
the scenes
time,
of how
like,
you
how
record and edit.
easy or annoying or frustrating
Well,
it
also
can be.
like to post a 1 minute video takes 30 minutes.
Yes, it's
to go
not,
from like idea of what I want to film, shoot it, cut the clips, put text things on it, put audio to it. Like it takes 30 minutes at least. That's a quick one. Like if I've already filmed it and I'm just editing it.
It is.
And I didn't while I'm while I'm trying to get my point across. If I didn't do a bunch of the pauses that I have to now cut out because I'm trying to shave this thing down to 1 minute long. So I think it'll be fun to do that. What I want to do is honor the OG donation basically, and like I have some pre-shot footage, and then some photos, and then I have it here actually. So it's this one over here, and you'll know what it is. And I think if anybody's actually here, I know I guess a couple are. My brother's here, and they're watching. So this is the OG donation. This is what started this whole idea to even do this live stream.
Oh yeah, is that the one that you ran with?
I did, yeah, and that's the footage I have is me running with this thing.
That's awesome.
So I ran carrying a wooden flag.
That's
over my head,
the most Marine Corps
like this,
thing to
just
do.
running, like it's a flag flowing in the wind beside me, and I'd have
Which
to
is
like
funny
change it.
because there's that one over there that actually has that look.
So it started, that idea to run with the sign started because I sent a picture of the barrel lid.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
Wait, which one?
The lid of a barrel.
Oh yeah, the Ton Tavern.
Yeah, the Ton Tavern one. So I sent a picture of that to the master sergeant I work with. He's like, "Are you gonna run with that tomorrow?" Because I usually run with a sword. Like I carry a training sword, like a black. It's actually
like
in the closet over there.
The officer sword.
No, so in the corner of the
sword
closet over there, in the closet.
Oh.
So you have to open the closet.
Oh yeah, I got you.
But it's a black
sword?
no. It's a black like Roman gladius training
like a
sword.
legit sword.
Yeah, but for training, like it's just hard plastic. And so I carry it's all black. Carry it on runs. I'll carry it like running and pass it off to people to motivate them and stuff. And so I think he thought it was a shield at first, like it's just a big shield or something. He's like, "Oh, are you gonna carry a shield tomorrow? Like short sword and shield?" I was like, "No, that thing is stupid heavy. It's very red leg woodshop made it. That thing is heavy, bro. Like I'm gonna have to mount something in studs to hang it up.
Oh,
like
wow.
it's very heavy. Have you seen it? Have you felt it?
No, I didn't realize it was gonna be that heavy.
It is. I didn't think so either. I knew it was probably. I mean, it's a big piece of wood, so it's obviously gonna weigh.
Like what kind of wood? Holy, what the? Oh dear God!
It's solid.
That's no joke.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
No, that's.
So, I'll have to put the hook
smokes.
like in the stud.
Yeah, no, I'm not running with that.
No, it was very heavy, but he wouldn't know that from the picture, obviously.
Oh my!
It's
This thing
super
looks
cool though.
cooler in person now.
It's
that I've
so
seen
cool
it,
though.
actually.
Yeah. Although, so not super old English script savvy, right? My daughter looks at this, sees the old English T's as C's. So go ahead and read that and think what you might accidentally see. She's 13, so that is exactly what she saw. She's like, "This says what?" I was like, "That is not what it says."
That's not what it says. That is
She's
too
like,
funny.
"I can't help but see it now." I was like,
I
okay.
can't either. I will never view Ton Tavern the
No.
same ever again.
It doesn't change what it was, though.
No, it doesn't. But it's still not going to be viewed the same way. Oh boy, that thing is heavy.
Yeah, it's solid.
That is
You could
much heavier
definitely
than
bludgeon someone with this thing.
Yes, that's a legit shield.
Yeah. Actually, honestly, it probably is lighter than
A real
shields in that
yeah.
time would have been with having to have the banding around it and
Oh,
everything else,
God.
all the metal parts of it, and
All of
it would have been. It might have been right around that weight, actually. Probably pretty much exactly that, but then balanced better so that it sits on your arm and it's a little easier to move. But
They had to
That's
be
pretty heavy.
super strong, like legit strong.
Yeah.
Back
Yoked.
then, there's no way.
Okay, so
Didn't it just donate?
yeah, so that was a donation, a direct donation. So that's why that shows up on there. But then my bid did not show up.
Okay, so that's...
So what we need to do is see if we can
also
find...
bid as well. That's why I was curious.
Yep, and it's not showing up at all. So let's see if... I'm going to be flipping over to look at stuff here. This, I think, is up there right now. I need to take that off there. So let's... I did want to make this a focus. So let's talk about something that someone's not going to come on and talk about. And I think we'll do this one. Let's poke myself in the eye. That's real smart.
That's not a good idea.
Okay, so this is a patriotic birdhouse. It's right here. Plus, it's close, so I could grab it and show it to you. Oh man, I should have done the comic book. But... So this little birdhouse, very simple. Something. And honestly, like one of the things I always look at when I'm looking at birdhouses is every one we've ever hung up on our trees has either disconnected, whatever the connector is to hang it, disconnects from the birdhouse, or it breaks itself or something, like, and then like you have to figure out a new way to hang the house up.
Like, is it just
because they're just
sit there?
Because they're just done kind of cheaply usually. This thing is solidly connected, so there's 2 good sized tacks on both sides. This is all like metal connected up here, so it's very well connected. And this I think should be a little longer. Just me in a design aspect, like no bird can stand on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like to stand on it to be able to get in or out or whatever, but I'm pretty sure no bird is going to actually live in a house this small.
No, although that would be pretty cool if that did happen.
Maybe if you hung it up out there. Finches might be able to, and they wouldn't even need this thing. They're just going to fly in anyways. But, so the idea was, hopefully, you know, you can't tell by colors because I got the weird colored lighting on. But
I'm colorblind. That's the worst thing
This is
ever.
This is a good combination because so am I.
Oh, sweet. Because I do not understand lighting and people. My daughter does it to me all the time. She's like, "What color is this, Dad?"
And so mine is weird. Like it honestly it isn't always in effect, which is a really weird thing. So like my colorblindness sometimes happens. So I feel like it's a nutritional thing. It's got to be like where if I don't eat enough of something, it's like okay, that's just enough to go
Just
across the
enough
threshold and be like I can't really tell. Today my eyes were getting weird because I was sitting here for so long, building this whole auction because I of course did nothing to actually prepare the website beforehand. There's just always other things, you know, going. So
there's only so much one person can do.
Yeah. So the roof is red and white stripes like the flag, and then you got the blue and the star. So it's really very cool patriotic design setup. Even if all you did was put it out for 4th of July or other, you know, patriotic holidays. Well, it does have like I didn't even realize it had a back door.
Wait, what?
There's like
I've never seen a birdhouse with a back door.
I haven't either, but I guess if you did that, then they could get in and out easier. And since it does have this like tiny hole up here, which I felt like no bird's gonna go out of, but this might be the actual place they move in and out of.
And you put bird feed through the front, maybe?
Or if maybe
easier.
You just wanted to put a candle in there. It's just a decoration, and then this would flicker. You know, the light would flicker in there. Maybe
that's probably what
could be that.
it is.
It's definitely supposed to be a birdhouse, but you could hang it and have a candle in there even.
Actually, but that might be a hazard.
I feel like this thing might catch on fire if it had a candle inside it. No, because the candle itself would be so far away. There wouldn't be enough heat. The heat would be able to vacate out.
Like one of those the teapot.
Especially if you
candles.
like kept it cracked, like leave a little bit of a gap here to allow air to flow through or something. I think it was just to be able to maybe clean it or something. Maybe close it back up to protect the birds. I did not even notice when I picked this up that it had a back door.
That's awesome, actually.
So we found this up in Yosemite. We went to Oakhurst because we were staying at Bass Lake, which is a little bit south of
that just
Yosemite.
brought back some very fun memories.
Yeah,
and Bass Lake fishing trip or the bass tournament or whatever they have up there.
It's a great. I mean, that's the first time I've been to Bass Lake or to Yosemite. I mean, I know Northern California. We went further west most times. Okay. So like to go to Yosemite for the first time because we did Redwoods 2 Christmases ago or something, and so we went to Oakhurst. They have like a lot of little kind of weird shops. It reminded me a lot of Yucca Valley, to be honest. Yucca has a lot of really weird shops.
Small town.
It's a very small town. Does not have a Walmart. That tells you how small it is. Yucca Valley has a Walmart.
Yes.
So there's that.
That is the only thing to do if you're at comm school.
Yeah, and there's they have a Vons though.
There is the. I'll never forget. I think it was a travel lodge or something that we stayed at. I was 15 years old, and there is a rock
Oakhurst?
there that says it's painted on it. It says Oakhurst Rocks.
Nice. So there's some good pictures on our family pages and stuff of like they do a lot of Bigfoot stuff. So there are pictures with the Bigfoot statue. But we went in some little shop and happened to see, and that's what kind of I was going around looking for Americana kind of things, and I picked this up. I figured someone would get a kick out of having this little birdhouse as a decoration for 4th of July. So this is from Yosemite as well, right? So now you know that this came from like a national park area, helping a small town craftsman, because they said that these are all like locally made by someone who like
I assume so.
makes them. So I love supporting stuff like that. We got one other item that came from that same trip, and we will talk about that one at another time. Because that one, the artist, I did finally hear back from him today, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of interested. Can you tell me more about the organization?" I gave him a little more information. I said we're gonna be going live at midnight and running through tomorrow. So if you want to find out more about what we do, you can look at our website or just listen to the live stream for a while. I'm sure I'll talk about it. And if it seems like something you'd be willing to kind of join in on and actually talk with us, sign up. I gave him the Calendly link, so he may end up signing up for a time slot. So for now, I'll kind of hold off on that one. It's that photograph. You can see the big photograph.
That's.
Yeah.
It's. I was curious about it because I saw it on the page just now, and I was like, okay, who drew that? That's actually.
It's a photo of Yosemite in winter. It's really pretty.
That's. I'm still tripping out about Bass Lake.
Yeah. So tell me about your time at Bass Lake, because we actually so we went out there we were there a week, a whole week basically. Stayed at the RV park right there. So there's the Pines. Is the main like resort on the north end of the lake, and there's an RV park not far from it. So we stayed there. Like we could walk from our RV park to the Pines like marina resort area. So we rented a boat on Monday before we left and like drove that around all day on the lake. So it was nice.
We had. It seems my uncle is still awake actually because he was on that trip with me. We had family friends that lived up there. Alan, I can't remember their last name, but Alan Eady. They had a gorgeous home out there in the nicest like little area. We went up there for the bass fishing tournament. It was my dad, myself, my cousin Jimmy, my uncle, and my grandfather. And we caught, all of us are all fishermen. We caught one fish.
Yeah.
The whole time. And it was the smallest town I'd ever been to in my entire life.
In Oakhurst?
Yes.
Really?
At that point in time,
Oh, wow.
it was the smallest town I'd ever been to. I was like, where did we go?
I will ask this too, because you're back there and
Yes.
I'm right here. How's the audio for
Well,
anybody
it's,
else listening? Like for when you're talking, you might be able to pick that up.
Oh, yeah.
Because we may want to shift the mic a little or get you your own. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, you hear it pretty well, actually.
So it's a good thing because it's a decent mic and we're both
Yeah,
loud.
no,
we're
it's
both
actually
loud little
nothing-
a-holes. So
yeah.
it's-
Oh, God. Yes.
we are both volume control people.
If
who
I
like
do any kind of recording when I'm live, people tend to, I can't hear you. And I'm like, yes, I know, because when I sing, I'm much louder. And the mic is set up for me to sing at that time, not to talk.
So there's something else too. So it shows the donations going on the right hand side, right?
Yes.
But then there was this post made, and that doesn't show up there anywhere either. So I'm wondering if there's another way to view things. So like, love everything you guys are doing. I hope this auction goes very well. Thank you to all our military who served to keep us all free. Happy 4th of July, right? So like that's cool. I would love that just to show right up on the stream.
Yeah, it would show up on.
Yeah.
Or maybe there is a.
So I was looking, and
way,
there is
but
a like,
there's
I can do
no-
this. I can share this. That's to get that whole thing back out, and it's like I think it's because the overview is the campaign piece.
What's the
which
live display?
That's
that's
that
just,
thing.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So if you
And there's
have
not
to
a version of that for the auction specifically, and so if you go to it, let's see if we can. I have it open. I think it's open here, and I don't think there's like settings for it. Yeah, see that's there.
Interesting.
View settings. Amount raised, support feed, scan to donate, Text to donate.
Oh, that's interesting.
Themes, we can change the theme. Moonlight is dark. That is not as dark. I would rather have Aurora.
That's dark.
Yeah. Enter full screen.
What's the text to donate?
I didn't have it turned on. To do that, you have to do some other stuff in the account setup, and I didn't do that.
That's interesting. Okay, so we got.
So there's a URL to the live display, but again, the settings for it aren't. It's got amount raised, supporter feed, and scan to donate, which is the QR code, and the text to donate. So if you saw the kind of preview of it beforehand, would say or, and then show the second one to do the text, which does seem pretty convenient. It would be kind of nice to allow people to do that too.
Because if you're viewing this on your phone, you can't exactly scan a QR code very easily.
You'd still have to leave it. You would, yeah. I don't know.
Is that what
screen? Most people screen capture and then go to the images, and then you can do the image. Like that's the way I've done it, at least.
I've never had to do that before, but that does make sense.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. There is that extra step there when you could just know the text code, swipe over, and do it. I don't know. I might have set that up somewhere throughout this. We do have some time. So it appears that that's the way this works. There's no...
But that's interesting because there's the bids, and I almost feel like the bids would be the one that...
Yeah. So filter outcoming, no bids, ended by now. Rest of residents, bidding closes tomorrow. So it's also like I couldn't change the time zone that's being displayed on my page. Like it wants it at universal time. That's it. And so I had to, like, I might still have it open. No, I closed it. I had like a slider to tell me what time everything was because I was originally doing I was going to only have the auctions for each hour. And so I was needing to go to it, like, what time did they reserve in the calendar? Slide that slide timer for Pacific time to that. What time is that UTC? Start the auction at that time. I was like, oh my god, this is killing. And I'm trying to do all these items today.
Thank
so
God
it's like that was part
Zulu time was.
That was part of the decision though to be like, nope, they're all just running 24 hours. I'm not figuring these out anymore. Like this is too much. So I guess we're just gonna either close that, which I don't think I want to do because it does have the QR code there, which takes you to the main page, I think, right? Actually, can you do that? You want to do that for the first time?
Yeah.
You have the feed up going, screen capture, go to your photos.
You're really going to hate me.
Uh-oh.
Because we're still not live on Facebook.
What?
I swear.
Oh, man.
Hold on. So there's that. There's got to be a go live thing.
It looks like it is,
It does look, that's so confusing. But the little check marks over there, I think.
Stopping us from doing it? Complete post details. What's your live about?
Okay. So
but I did all that in the configuration over here, I thought. Okay, fine.
But because they are...
maybe. Let's go. 24-hour freedom fundraiser. How many buzzwords can I use?
Isn't there a fun little section for that? Oh, I guess not.
Let's do this.
Copy and paste?
Yeah, I'll say. Let's see if I can get to this one.
To your money earned amount.
Cool.
Oh, that's a good point.
What's that?
So, I believe this is your brother. It says, wouldn't it not post to your money earned amount until the auction closes?
Right.
And the money's collected. So maybe that's the case because there's a reserve limit.
Yeah. And it could end up... Well, I just figured it could track the bids. Like, if someone's only bid $5 right now on a thing, that could show 15. If you bid 5 on it, that could show 20. At some point, it's going to be more than that because someone else is going to bid again, and then the number would just go up. But I see your point, and I think it makes sense too. And that was part of why it would have been cool if auctions were closing out every hour.
True.
That dollar amount would start going up. But then if that's the case, then that doesn't serve much purpose while we're doing a 24-hour live.
True. And then there's also the aspect of, because even though there's a reserve limit, if it just starts like collecting the amount of bids, it's like that. It's not false advertisement, really. But
sort of.
It kind of is in that way, but it just adding up the total dollar amount of bids, even though, let's say, some items may not reach.
Don't make reserve. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I end up with not getting money. Don't get that amount of money. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the weird part.
So it does one thing, which tells you, it's like, I've only got 10. You need to go bid. Right? It does that. We can be like, oh, look how low that number is. Come on, somebody's got to go bid on something.
I know, right?
And then someone goes and bids. You're like, you got to get the bid up there. What's going on? I don't know why I suddenly sound like a mobster. Because I'm
working on my 19
telling people to give me some money. All right.
Did it go
Okay,
live?
so there's that. No, I still haven't hit save yet.
Oh.
You got me going on something else.
I know. Don't sidetrack him.
Yeah, okay. So
go live.
That one. Now go live.
Here's the button down the bottom. Wait.
It wouldn't let me do it without the description.
That's it. That's the whole thing.
Which makes sense. Like, yeah, it's gonna look. People look at the video like, what the hell is this video about? Okay, so it should be live on Facebook. Yeah, edit
Keep
live video
refreshing
or
your
end
Facebook
live video.
page.
It's there now. It's like end live. It definitely looks different.
It's got to be live. Holy crap! It's live.
Yeah, it's finally live. Woo! Okay,
and
we're
even
live
got
on
a
Facebook.
notification on it.
Look at that, live on
Look
Facebook.
at that.
So, for those who joined us on Facebook, to get the first 48 minutes of this live stream, you're gonna need to go to YouTube. Sorry.
Yeah.
So this first couple hours is
and
definitely
the
going to be,
comment
yeah, and that was kind of one of the cool things I liked about the way live on Facebook was configured, at least from a preparatory point of view, is you can kind of pin this post to the top of the chat,
Yeah, that's it,
which you
because
can't do in
I
YouTube.
Figure that. Oh, even with Streamlabs, it won't.
Streamlabs didn't let me do it. So I could. Oh, is this the multi-stream? So then now can I get chat from both? Is this gonna like bring them all in? Refresh chat. Let's see what happens.
I don't.
It doesn't look like it.
It should, but it.
It didn't look like it was working.
Well, let's see.
Oh yeah, if you throw some chat over there, is it gonna actually maybe like once there's because that wasn't there a minute ago.
True.
Until there was multiple streams going out. So then now the question for configuration of streams is it showing up on wherever that other guy's channels are?
Oh, that's right.
I might have to. I'm not feeling like messaging him at 1 o'clock in the morning.
What channel is?
So it. I don't know.
Because I sent a comment as well on Facebook just now.
Yeah,
so you should see it over at least on Facebook.
Yeah, no multi-stream there. And then where do I see those? It's probably a good idea to get that up somewhere too, so I can see them.
I think it's on the right hand
Event
side.
URL could go to this one probably.
Oh, that's right there. Comments. Yeah.
So this is the pinned one. Oh, testing.
Yeah.
I see it there.
Why
Yeah,
is
so
that?
it doesn't show up over there.
Interesting.
This is the pinned comment, so that I can see it. I can close it.
Oh, it's alright. It's gonna always be there.
Yeah.
But now that you close that, does that unpin the comment?
I don't think so. It just I didn't have to look at it anymore. But
Nope, still there so far.
Yeah, and the thing would be is then if people join now, would they then see it? I think they will. And this multi-stream chat is not working, so we will just have to keep both going.
Okay, cool. So that comment does stay there. Or the image.
It still does not like the keyframe rate, so I wonder how bad it looks on Facebook. And that's going to be annoying if it keeps popping that up. It seems fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it seems great.
So
yeah,
we are
it's
about
typical.
we're about to break our first hour almost. 10 minutes.
Holy smokes.
10 minutes we've been through in an hour. And so this is where one, you're here, so this is better because now there's someone in the room to actually talk to.
That's had these awkward moments where you're like, so what do I do? Because me in the room by myself talking to a camera.
Yeah, which I don't know how you've done it for long enough now, right?
It's weird still.
You get better at it. You get comfortable with it. Like you start just picturing who's out there you're talking to.
You're hoping.
Who do you picture? There's a weird question for you. If you start getting good at it, like there's usually one person or maybe a very short list of people that you kind of just picture yourself talking to.
So for me, because I'm usually just live streaming something like with me playing guitar.
Yeah.
I generally picture like an audience of some kind, like in a small venue somewhere, versus like just trying to pay attention to like, oh, there's one person or whatever the case is. So that's just kind of how I have tried to learn how to deal with that. But it's still, if I record a video, it's still awkward when you're talking direct, like it's just you know, it's weird talking at the camera.
Yes.
Like it's a person.
Yeah. So there's who is it? I think I've done 2 lessons basically on talking to camera. There's honestly like lessons on it and like how to like where to look. The problem I have is like when you're interacting with screens and doing it live, I need to check other things at the same time, so I'm looking past camera, which is a little awkward. It's like, you've done promotion ceremonies?
Yes.
And so then while someone's reading something else and you're face to face with someone else, and it's really freaking weird and awkward, and you just look at each other's ears
You're
like
to not
chest,
look at like your CO or something. You're just like,
no one wants to laugh, so like you look here, like you look at each other's throat, or you look at an ear, like so you're not making direct eye contact. Because if you make direct eye contact while someone else is reading someone's promotion warrant, while you're just standing there looking at them, and it's awkward, and you're looking, someone is gonna smirk or smile or laugh or do something dumb, and it's just gonna break the whole. It's supposed to be formal. This is supposed to be, a ceremony, and so you have to. And so the tricks are like slightly off of looking straight at each other.
Yep.
And but when you notice that someone is doing it, and you're like, the ear is the weirdest one for me. Like chest is super obvious. Like, okay, yeah, you're looking all the way down past my chin clearly, and here, like it's far enough off that it works. Ear is like just slightly, you're just a little off center. And if you got like someone with a lazy eye, like one of them's looking at my ear, your other eye's looking straight at me, dude, and I start laughing. I'm like, this is stop looking at me. Like, oh no, I'm looking at your ears, or like.
I used to just look like directly at their forehead, or
forehead works.
Like because I'm usually the short guy, so I'm always looking up anyway.
Name tapes for us.
Yeah,
exactly. You're promoting someone who's this tall, and you're like,
you're great. Like
you haven't had to do that side of it. So being the person promoting someone who's that tall, and I gotta like.
No, yeah, you're right. That's always weird. I've seen that happen.
Reach
before.
Way up there, you're like, how you're so tall.
Or you have like the officer that is like 12 feet tall, and he's got like me. And he's gonna like
bend down to promote you.
I'm sorry. My promotion, when I got promoted to corporal, actually, that was the weirdest one ever because everybody knew I was supposed to get promoted. I was a lance corporal for like 3 years at this point.
Yeah.
Our score was closed out. It was horrible. And when I got promoted, they had everybody lined up already that was going to get promoted that weekend. They ran through all those promotions, and I'm still sitting there. And it was our acting CO at the time. He's like, wait a minute. I'm missing something. He's like, Lance Corporal, aren't you supposed to get promoted? And I'm like in the middle of formation, like all the platoons are out there. And I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, well, get your ass up here. I'm like, hi, sir. This is weird. Like, I have to, like, remember all the drill movements all of a sudden.
Yeah. Because you didn't get the practice round everybody else got.
No, everybody, when we made it simple for everybody, we would just do a straight line. They would just go forward, and then they'd do an about face once everything was done.
Oh, okay.
And just go, because ours was always inside of our gym at the Reserve Center.
There's just not enough room to really do much more than that.
Yeah, so we kept it simple. All this awkward stuff that we're seeing right now on the internet of people not being able to do facing movements, I'm screaming on the inside going, dear God.
Well, I mean, they still can't. Just because we just don't do it doesn't mean that we've gotten any better at drill.
Well, there's also the awkward fact. It's very nerve-wracking, actually. Like, if somebody's getting promoted or you're getting an award or something, a lot of times it's last second, like being notified.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, hey, okay, crap, now what?
Okay, so
you get nervous when you're
that
there.
Size bothers me. Like, look at this thing. Like, when you're looking at it on this screen, that looks really small. Is that okay on the screen? I mean, you're looking on your phone though.
Yeah,
and so like if it's on its side and you had it full screen, is it still pretty dang small? That's my thought. My thought is yes, it probably is.
Yeah, because it makes it harder to actually.
So I'm wondering, can I zoom just this one browser in and make it bigger, right?
Yeah.
And
but when you change items, that will change as far as
the zoom in on this browser shouldn't. But
that shouldn't. But
it's going to be super zoomed in when I try to switch objects. I'll be like on the other screen with the whole list. Like I got one object, so that's okay. I'm okay with that. And I think that looks better. You can see that better over there.
Because that's just doing a screen share, right?
Yep. Yeah, okay, it's just showing this tab. And so then when I switch this tab to something else, it'll still show up there. But then my thought was, did I just zoom all Chrome in though? Okay, no, good. My worry was, is this zoomed in?
Next thing you know, you got a big version of like your head right there.
Zoomed in on just my forehead, like you had the other camera set up.
Yes, that was awkward when I was staring at that screen. I'm like, why is it so close? Hello, Mike.
Is who's on there?
Mike Sink.
Oh, hey. So Mike is on right now because he's in Japan.
Oh.
So
never been there.
Yeah, for you, it's what? It's like noon right now. It's like middle of the day.
I've heard horror stories about
What?
about field days in Japan.
Nah. See, like, so did you never go?
No, never.
See, Mike, he don't get it.
I've never
He
been
doesn't get
on. I've never been on a naval ship. Well, I have, but in the Marine Corps, I was never on a naval ship.
Okay.
The Air Force was my transport the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I spent most of my time with the Army.
Doing JTech stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
due to the nature of what we did.
Yeah.
That with either the Army or with Navy SEALs.
Okay.
And half the time, if we were down doing something with the Navy SEALs, it was like, sign me up for F that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because their obstacle course was not fun. And it's timed.
So I spent 11 of my 23 years so far in Okinawa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You've been in 23 years?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, it'll be 24 next summer when I retire.
So it's 20. So it would have been 19 years actually this year that I would have been in, and that's crazy to think of. That if I was still in at this point in time, I would be wherever my career had taken me. Like, you know.
To Okinawa.
No, I was a reservist.
At some point.
So I would have gone to. Well, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised because I was always volunteering for something. Because is MLL still a thing?
We brought a reservist out of your computer.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine.
It's not doing anything right now.
No, it's the screen that just turns off randomly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we had some reservists do their annual, came out, went to an exercise in Korea with us.
Yeah.
Comm Squadron usually does.
What's the name of that exercise?
It's changed. So when you were doing it was probably UFL.
Yes.
It's UFG now. Actually, I think it changed again. Mike could probably tell us. But I responded to his thing.
What officer needed an award?
Right. Yeah. Someone got a meritorious service medal for that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So when I was staff sergeant, I had just gotten promoted. When he got there, Mike became the company first sergeant at Division Comm Company.
Oh, wow.
For me when I was staff sergeant. And then I saw him again when I got back out there as a warrant officer, and I was at Comm Squadron, and I went to the pool for swim qual, and he was retired Mike Sink lifeguard at the pool, like just chilling, living the good life. And now I follow his posts on Instagram and Facebook. He posts like all the food he's cooking. He is getting into cooking, and oh my god!
So he just chose to stay in Okinawa? Or?
Yeah, he's retired and stayed there as a civilian.
That's pretty cool.
That's good stuff. So that was my original plan. In 2020, I had a retirement approved for the summer of 2020. My wife is a teacher with DoD schools, and she was going to stay on, and we're trying to figure out a way for her to pick up being the one with the orders, right? So she's the sponsor, and I'm out there as dependent, but running a business locally.
Yeah.
And then what I was going to do, my master's degree's in public relations.
Okay.
And so then I was going to start basically a marketing and support company basically for all the American-owned businesses that are out there. There's quite a few like gyms and restaurants and small businesses.
I didn't realize that, but it's a huge thing over there.
But none of them have anybody who can support them with this stuff, right? With how do I do media? How do I do interactions? How do I get on YouTube? Because if they just go and do the default Google setup, they're going to get all Japanese advertising. Like they're going to advertise to Japanese locals, right? And it's not going to hit the target market. And so you have to really shape it very well, and it takes somewhat some experience. So
because it's what .jpn or something.
It's a bunch. So there's a lot of different metrics to it, and so I started going through the Google certifications for that kind of stuff, and then
that's crazy.
She decided that she was like, "Nah, I'm good. Let's get out of here."
Let's
she was not.
Japan.
Yeah, it was not about that. It was the people in the school where she was working, and just it was a little bit frustrating for her with the environment she was working in, and she saw an opportunity to be able to change that. Like, hey, maybe I can, get a new school and get in with new people and see how that changes.
So with her as a DoD civilian, she can still get orders to.
Yeah. So the cool thing, the way you can pick up being the sponsor because she was there as a local hire.
Okay.
Right, so she had a reputation though because she got local hire in, so she was now a hired employee. She could do a transfer round to another overseas location and be the one who picks up the sponsorship. So one of the things we thought was we would have her take a transfer round, go to another country, we do a couple years there or whatever, and then potentially come back and then start the business. But no matter where we went, if it was a military base area, overseas with DoD schools, there's going to be some American-owned businesses that need a marketing person to help them do this kind of thing.
How many Army personnel stayed in Germany?
Right, and that's where we were like, can you pick up transfer rounds and go to Germany?
Let's go Germany.
Love it. So we were looking at that, and then that was kind of one of the big plans, but ended up
South Korea.
Yeah, and that was an option, and I got selected for promotion to 4, and it was the schoolhouse, and she didn't want to come to 29 Palms, but they told us, yeah, we'll only send you there for 1 year. So we said we accept 1 year orders here to go to North Carolina 1 year later, and got here and we're like, no, we're good. We like it because she really liked the work she was doing, and I love the mission of the schoolhouse.
Oh yeah.
And so it's worked out for us. We're going to be here 4 years next summer when I retire.
That's pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah.
Is it hard to kind of at that point with it? Because I've never had to deal with that. But is it hard as an officer to kind of sort of get where you want to go, or?
It's even harder for warrant officers. So like, as a 4, when I got the orders to 29 Palms, there are only 4 places I can go. It's the 3 MEFs and here. That's it. Right? So you could be at 1 MEF, 2 MEF, 3 MEF, the G6 spot, or at the schoolhouse. And no one wants to come to 29 Palms, right? So that's why I had to take those 1 year orders.
Oh.
I was the new 4, right? So like, you're going to take it. They want you there. You have to.
No choice.
And then, so then when I was like, hey, we don't mind staying longer, everybody's like, sweet, thanks. We don't have to go to 29 Palms.
In your MOS, there's only 4 CW04s.
There was. Now there's 5 because there's a spot in Quantico now too. We just added a spot.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's competitive as all hell.
And there's 2 5s.
Okay, so good.
So the fact that I'd get selected for 5 this year, and we'll say, no, it's crazy.
Interesting.
It's crazy.
Because, well, then you'd have to then pick up and go somewhere else at that point too.
Yeah.
That makes,
so
no thanks.
it's to choose this, right? It's to choose to do the nonprofit. It's to choose to have my wife still. So she's got her master's degree in early reading intervention. So she's she's elementary school, whole school wide teacher. Pulls the most struggling out of every single grade in groups to get them on grade with reading, so that they can hopefully catch up with the rest of their class and go forward. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to pick the brain.
Yeah.
Because we've got the.
So she's been working her whole career and training herself up to being in a position where she can actually do that work, because that's what her focus has been on for all of her time, and she's finally got that role here. So she doesn't want to change that. She wants to stay with that. So I'm good with that too. So there's a lot of reasons not to, and the only reason to choose to accept it is kind of like, can I have more impact?
True.
To do the things I want us to do, and then like the cool factor, like you just pointed out, like, be a chief officer 5. There's only 2 of us. Like, how many people in the world alive today could say I was a Marine chief officer 5? Not very many. Not very many. It's less than like 1,000 alive today, and that's all MOSs, right?
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's it. That is true.
All chief officer 5s in the Marine Corps, it still would probably be less than 1,000 people. So that
there's not going to be.
That's pretty crazy.
That's like saying like for gunner, for example. Like, there's very few people that can actually say they're an actual like Marine Corps gunner.
Yep. In that MOS, and then now imagining gunner or chief officer 5s, like, there's still very, very few.
That's insane. My old staff NCO I see for my deployment to Afghanistan, he was a gunny when we went. When we came back, and he was always a comms guy. Eventually became a JTAC once they finally allowed radio operators to be JTACs, which was funny that they never allowed. Because I was a civilian JTAC as a reservist. I taught JTACs on the civilian side, but the Marine Corps wouldn't recognize it because I was a Lance Corporal. I was like, that makes no sense.
Hopefully we're moving towards being able to do better about that talent management stuff. So.
God, but he became a warrant officer, and I remember asking him, I go, so do you get to pick your MOS like we do, like on the enlisted side as reservists? And he goes, no. And in the Marine Corps' infinite wisdom, they made me a CBRN officer.
So like you said, he was calm.
Yeah.
So the when you apply for warrant officer, there is the chance that happens to everybody. So there are like three or four, maybe even five MOSs, 4 warrant officers that are like anybody can get it. Any MOS can get accepted into them. CBRN is one of them. Like Postal is one. Exchange, I think, is one. There's a couple other ones that are like...
There's still officers for Postal and Exchange. Wow.
And so... But you could get selected for them. I don't even know how many there are. And honestly, some of those might not be around anymore. But, so when you apply, you put in, like, this is my primary that I'm applying for. This is the secondary selection I would have. And then your third option is, like, I'll take any appointment.
Yeah, at that point.
And then... And you have to write that in. Like, if you don't put that on your package, it won't get approved.
Wow.
And so then... You can get selected for it and say, I don't want to take that selection. That's the option. Like, if you know you don't want to do that. If you're, like, adamant to put together a package and just leave it off, which I've had Marines try to do. I'm like, put it on. You have to put it on or it won't get routed. It won't get approved. It won't get into the system. And you won't get selected for your primary, which is what you're really trying to do.
Yeah.
But what you can do is put it in the way it's supposed to be formatted. And then if you get selected for something you don't want, then just say, I don't want to accept that appointment. And you continue on as a gunny or whatever.
And that's done at OCS or
no? As soon as the selection message comes out, you just send a letter email. I'm not going. I'm not accepting that appointment. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you'll know before you actually go to OCS.
You don't have to go to OCS.
Wait,
we just go to TBS.
Or the basic school.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. It's all different on that side of things.
Yes, it was
Camp
interesting.
Upshur. Quantico, right? Yeah.
It is in Quantico.
Camp Upshur is where I went to with the FBI and with,
it's all on that side. I was trying to remember. I was like, is that side called Upshur? I can't remember anymore.
Because that's where the FBI is.
Yeah, and we had a guy get lost during night land end up in the FBI compound. It was an interesting day. Got a ride back from some FBI agents. That's good stuff.
That's hilarious. How many chief warrant officers?
So whenever a YouTube video gets published as a video, right?
Yes.
On in Discord, it announces
it. Noticed.
And so because each one of those first 3 attempts or whatever stopped, and then was published as its own independent video, we now have like 3 video announcements from this thing starting. So, so everybody just got alerted in the middle of the night.
Updates. Yes.
Good times.
There it is.
Good times. Luckily, they're not like at everyone tags, are they? Oh shoot, they might be. Like new video? No, I think they're just normal. I have alerts on for that channel just to make sure that they go through. What's kind of interesting is look at the difference. Like for some reason, it has different thumbnails. This one is like the picture, but then that one's the thumbnail I put in, and then that one's back to the picture again. I don't know.
So
weird.
that one. So wait, you're on.
So we're now at 1:10, which means we're in our second hour, and what I want to do is switch the object that's up here. We're going to talk about a different item for a few minutes, and then we can kind of go back to...
I'm trying to figure out where...
Okay.
What the...
I moved the desk enough to drop this light.
And that light fell.
It fell into my face. I look like a ghost.
Wait, which way did it go?
Just lift it up a little bit so it's behind the monitor. There we go.
Oh, that's clever.
That'll work. Yeah, I mean, I try. It shines up and gets
That's
us,
genius.
but like without it being right in our face.
Yes.
Look how bad it was.
Oh, wow, that was
great.
There's times I do, like, I have to, like, change the lighting on my set, and I'm just like, do I really look like that? Or
It's like,
is that
bright light,
just,
bright light.
like...
Okay, so now, can I go back to auction? Let's see. If I need to pick a different thing that someone's not going to be on to talk about.
So, but welcome. Okay, now, where's on Discord? How is...
Got a handful here. It's... might hold off on that one. Let's do Superman. Let's talk about Superman. You want to talk about Superman?
Who doesn't want to talk about Superman?
Yeah, that works out well. So that still shows up.
Oh, cool.
So now...
You didn't zoom in all the way on that on Chrome, so you don't have to have the giant version of...
Yeah, it did, but like, so it stayed zoomed in, which was a little weird on the other screen. I couldn't see as many objects at once, but it worked. It was okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how bad it looked scrolling through. I guess I could pull up the Facebook feed and it would show me probably. Because I still haven't changed yet. Because this one's a little... Although, this is us watching in the current time.
Yes,
and then this is probably what's delayed on YouTube
OBS,
too.
And that's
Yeah.
what's over there doing its thing. that takes a while to get used to as well.
Yeah, but you can use it like to the advantage. Like now I'm looking, see like that, kind of seeing us scroll through is not bad, to be honest. Like I kind of like it showing that off. So I picked this up completely by accident, sort of. So I went and got my hair cut after going to Yosemite because I had I go to these lunches every month with businesses down in Palm Springs area. I think I told you a little bit about them.
I remember this a little
So
bit.
it's Desert United. It's really good, like professional luncheon is what they're called, where you kind of meet other business professionals and try and like work to figure out how you can like help each other out. It's mutually supporting. What Mario Hernandez, the guy who runs Mario's Tile Care down in Palm Springs, he kind of started this. I think he said 16 years. No, it's more than that. He's been doing this for a very long time. But one of the key things I think that's unique about his compared to what a lot of other ones are is every month when he hosts it, there's a nonprofit that is the highlight of that month's lunch, and they have 15 minutes to kind of present their organization, what it is that they do, and what they've got going on currently, and any of the major projects they're working on or whatever. So they kind of get to update the community on what's going on with their nonprofit. And then other businesses get a chance to kind of meet each other. He added something. It's so funny. The month that I went for the very first time, he added a new element to it because he'd been doing that nonprofit presentation, and then everybody takes 10 seconds basically around the room to just say their name and basically the organization they work for and what that organization does. But like you have 10 seconds, as you don't have much time. It's basically your name, what it is you work for, what they do.
That's what I do.
Very one-liner, what that business does. That's it.
Yeah.
Or what you do there. So what he was feeling was it was a little imbalanced. There's a lot of emphasis, which it needed, on nonprofits, but like the businesses are there to try to support each other and support the nonprofits in every way they can. So he added 2 3-minute presentations from businesses too. So it works on. So there's a concept within business presentation stuff of called a fast pitch. So a fast pitch is 3 minutes or less of a presentation of your whole organization.
This is what we do. Try and get all the best.
Key information. It's brevity, right? Brevity at its finest. So can you, in 3 minutes, make me want more, right? Like make me really want to know more about your organization. Can you get us in and hooked in that 3 minutes with just enough information to make sure I know what the heck you're actually talking about, but not, you can't hit everything in 3 minutes. And so you have to be really selective. So it's good training for the businesses to be able to do that 3-minute pitch.
Kind of like a nice version of Shark Tank.
It very much is Shark Tank, yeah. And so then he draws 2 names out of the business card fishbowl or whatever, and then they get to come up and do their 3 minutes.
Oh,
so
you're cool. On the spot.
Yeah, don't even know for sure that you're going to get it. You just get drawn, and you got to be ready to do a 3-minute presentation if you're there.
Do this, and that's actually kind of cool though, because it allows all the businesses to kind of get together and also support one another.
Yep.
Because that's the thing. I mean, within each community, even though businesses compete with each other, you pretty much damn well know those owners know and are most likely friends with whoever the other business owner is, and they all work together.
Yeah, and so you do those, you do the 15 minutes, you have lunch come, basically, then they do the 3-minute ones, and then what we have is at the tables, there's a timer, and everyone gets 3 minutes to talk at your table, right? So then you also always all get 3 minutes to talk to each other, share cards, and kind of learn about each other. So
that's kind of cool.
You have a small group that you get a close exchange with. I don't know where I was going with that.
Don't you love when that happens?
It was... So I had to go to that luncheon the day after coming back from Yosemite. And we were gone for like whatever, and I needed a haircut.
By the way, that's a far drive if no one has ever made that drive. It's not exactly close.
And so I was... I think this is sent to... Let me just go... There we go. I had the wrong chat selected. I had not gotten a haircut the week before that, and so like I really needed a haircut. So I went and got a haircut, and while I was in there, I was talking to the guy about the live stream and what was going on or whatever, and what the kind of overall concept of what we're doing right now is, right? And he was like, "Oh, you should check out the thrift store, like 2 doors down. They usually got some pretty good stuff in there." I was like, I doubt it right now. Finding something at thrift shop this last bit, and I went in there. I found this. Right, the thing I bid it on already. That was in the same thrift shop.
Okay.
And then as I'm walking up to the register, because I was looking for very patriotic, and that's 100% that. Like that was like, oh shoot, look
Yeah,
at that.
of
That's
course.
perfect. Which, oh by the way, you're gonna see a theme, and you maybe can see some of it in here because I'm at an angle where you can't see that display, right? You can't see those in the current camera setup. All my Legos.
Oh yeah, that's
There's some Lego stuff going on, right?
just a little.
So a big
Which
part
is
of like
pretty damn cool,
my
though.
favorite hobbies is doing Lego creative stuff, and I haven't been able to for a very long time. So I'm hoping as things ease off of one career and into the next one, I can hopefully find some time to do things I want to do
Do
on
you
my free time
super
again.
glue them by
Oh
chance? or
no, absolutely not. No,
Okay.
because I would always hope that at some point I could take it back apart and potentially make something else out of it. If that's, it's got to be in my mind as part of it. But I'll tell you, like the broken Millennium Falcon over there that I wish I had put back together already, and it wishes it would put back together already, would stay the Millennium Falcon, and it has been that way since 2013. So I mean, it's not gonna. In a lot of cases, it's never gonna come apart. But
Interesting.
yeah. Now, if that thing had fallen and was glued together, it would have broken pieces, and so at least now I can put it back together.
Interesting.
Because yeah, when it hits like that, if it's glued, a lot of times stuff snaps. Instead of just
never
coming.
known a Lego piece to snap.
Oh, they will. Yeah, I've broken them putting stuff together. So especially brown. So like, you're seeing how deep the Lego nerdery goes right now.
Yeah,
So especially brown pieces and like dark brownish red, and then the dark reds. Right. So any of those three color sets, there's a pretty solid period of time where those generations of pieces, when they were made, because of the dyes that were used to color the plastics, makes them brittle after a pretty short period of time. And so if you put it together right away and it wasn't a set from like last year, it's probably fine. But after that, like even in just putting it together, if it's a piece that's under tension, it'll snap. It's very brittle.
I've never thought of that before. I've
Yeah.
never known a damn Lego piece to actually break.
Yeah. So there's actually a small tray I have over there of specifically broken brown and red pieces, because I was like, well, I'll keep the broken pieces because in certain builds, it's good to have like a snapped off broken looking thing. Like if you're building a post-apocalyptic sets or something, like you come up with a design like that. I've seen people's builds where they used broken pieces and it just made it. Like you're like, oh, that piece that is broken right there
I never even
is
thought
what
about that.
set it, just made the whole thing work, you know, for what you were trying to get across.
I actually never thought about the fact that people might actually like just build their own stuff out of Legos, other than like what's on the box.
So open that right side down. Now I'm gonna actually ask you to open the thing.
Oh,
We'll show something off. We'll show something here in a second. So in that bag at the bottom of that side of it, if you get a chance. So while he's getting that, I'm gonna talk about the piece we're supposed to be talking about.
Yeah.
So I found this comic book
Oh, there we go.
like collection in that thrift shop, and honestly, like even you always expect to get a pretty good deal in a thrift shop, so that there's a there's a lot going on over there too. There's a lot of Lego stuff going on where he's looking around, he's like, wow, he's pulling Owen Wilson right now. Wow, wow.
God, I've never seen so many Legos.
Yeah, it's a lot, and there's a lot that have never gotten built because I've been buying them over the transition into like I don't have time to build anything right now. I still like I'll see one come out, see a set come out, and be like, oh my god, I must have that
Gotta
set.
have
Still.
that.
So there's Optimus Prime up there, still hasn't been built.
What?
I think he's over to the left,
Oh.
and then I have the
Hotter?
yeah, the Great Wave, the one you're talking right now, like that. I absolutely must build
That
soon.
looks
That would be the next thing I build.
Cool.
Yes, because it's the Great Wave Lego set, which is also this like thing I'm sitting on. It's the Great Wave, like it's a definitely a part of the iconography that I like a lot. It tells my keeps me Japanese influenced.
I'm gonna have to learn about that in a sec. Wait,
The Great Wave?
Yeah. 'Cause I'm a surfer, and I feel like I should know
Yeah,
about that.
I mean it's a tsunami, so you don't.
Oh yeah, we don't want.
You don't want to surf that, but
No.
so okay, that yellow bag down at the bottom left hand side, it's on the floor.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so you can grab that bag, bring it here, and then I'll show you. This is how far the creative stuff goes. Okay, so this is two halves of how far I've gotten on this build so far. We are going way off topic, but that's okay. I expected this to happen. So this is the two halves, because I had to take it apart so I could put it in this bag. Alright, see if I can get it out of here without completely going. crazy. Okay, so it's train track, right? But then I've joined them so that it creates this shape here. Hold on. And then this is
like
the
Lego train track, or
the piece on the front that you're looking at is train track. And so then this is the other half of that.
Smashed Window just said, I just farted in my mouth.
Okay.
Well, thank you for letting us know.
I do need to set up moderators.
Yeah.
So then these would be shaped like this. So hold that one the other way.
Oh, this way.
And so then they go together like this, right? I've got the connection stuff inside here. So imagine that together.
Okay.
And then,
Okay.
all right, take those back.
That's cool.
And then between those two curves, I put this inside there, basically, right? It's the engine of a ship that I'm building. That's how big this ship is going to be. So this is the inside part of the arches. So the arches go around it, and it becomes this giant, like, oval, huge spaceship engine. And so in September, the Super Lego adult fan folks, it doesn't have to be adults, but those who like to custom build like this, September is specifically supposed to be set aside to build ships like this. It's called Shiptember, and not specifically just because you build a spaceship, which usually that's what people build.
That is so cool.
Ship itself in Shiptember is an acronym. It stands for a super huge investment in parts. So
Yes,
and then there's that
makes
piece
sense.
that came off. Can you throw it back in that bag? Thank you. So we totally went off on a Lego tangent. Sorry.
I just learned a lot though.
Yeah.
Hey, we need to get up today.
It's custom design. Well, and now it's a new day, right?
This is true.
So
Hey, need to stay awake.
You're already ahead. You're already ahead on the day, learning your thing. So I have this around here somewhere. It's right here. So this has all of the comics that were created when Superman was still basically not published in independent comic books at the time, but was published as like part of Sunday. Sunday newspaper comics. Yeah, when they were done in that way. So it's a compilation of all of those comics that were occurring from basically 1939 to 1943, as that was how comics were really done, as strips in the newspapers mostly, and then they started becoming their own independent books. What I kind of got a kick out of, Addison and I looked through some of these. There's some kind of weirdness at the end here. I'm going to go ahead and show this off for those who do it. So there's this last one where it's like white and red looking suit, and it's basically the only colors in this particular strip are like the black of one particular ink, and then the red, and then basically white of paper. Don't color it. So all you get for color on it is black and red. Kind of weird that they did it that way, but I think some of that might have been because of what it was published in. This is basically how Superman ends World War II. Like, definitely an interesting story.
Wait, how Superman ended World War II?
This is how.
That's true, because was that during that time? Yeah.
1943. This would be like the last bit of it. This would be like how Superman would end it, and it's pretty funny.
He's choking out Adolf Hitler
and Stalin.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So apparently, at this stage
of it,
they're
in the same room.
Yes. At this stage of it, we were still not working with the Russians yet. Very interesting.
It's amazing how history is.
Yeah. It's very cool, but like looking at it and in the store too, I was like, this is in really good condition. So no corners are bent. None of them are like significantly
what year
beat
was
up
that
and
published.
So this was first compiled. The first print of it was in 1999. And this print, I'm pretty sure, just because of the way the copyright stuff inside it, but it's kind of hard to tell, was from 2006.
Interesting.
And it's still in really, really good condition. Another thing worth noting, and if you hadn't seen it, I'm going to take the dust jacket off just for this display for a moment, is the hardcover of the book itself is also very cool looking.
I wonder if people thought that, like with that red and black and white look at the very end, I wonder if people thought when Superman finally started getting published as, an actual comic itself in comic books, if he was supposed to look like that versus
Well, here, let me show you. So, like, that's what I mean. It was weird because there's some new dust in here. I dusted all this through because it was a little dusty, but that was, like, it. And there was one spot on the cover where I think, like, a price label from somewhere else had been placed, and you could tell it had a little bit of sticker residue or something, and I cleaned that up. But, like, in the comics, earlier than that, it's still in full color. Just that one at the end, for some reason, weirdly has no color. So I put some pictures up. You see pictures of the inside of it on the auction. But like, this is the art of the cover itself on the hardcover. I thought that's very really bright and colorful and super cool. And then like the graphic on the back, but like it almost looked like a sticker, but it's not. It's a level print.
That's so weird to see the look of Superman, though. It's so different from what we know today.
Yeah, if you're picturing Henry Cavill, like. Well, and that's, so it's funny because they're like, oh, they're casting these people. I'm like, yeah, but, and they always look like each other because they're working to look like this character drawn in this comic book.
Yeah,
you're going to find someone who has similar features when you cast a person to play it.
Because the image in everyone's mind is that of what they've seen for however long.
Yeah. So.
At least to me. I mean,
and you see my like poorly pieced together little wood section here.
It's not that bad.
Just some slap together stuff over here. So
hey, sometimes you just got to make it work.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Henry Cavill, for being like I don't know what in anything in Hollywood. He must have made some people angry because they cut him out of a whole bunch of stuff.
That's true. That did kind of like kill his career, so to speak.
I think he's from a nerd, right? I think he has clearly made himself the like movie star nerd. Like he's the guy who can identify with all of the nerd culture stuff. So he's doing Warhammer now. You know that, right? He's producing. He's the lead producer and is going to probably have a role in it. They're not saying he's going to take a lead. He's trying to not have a lead role, but he wants to be in the Warhammer 40K live action, but not. Probably like in a lead role.
No, it is not 4 a.m. It is 01:30.
Yeah, it is. We are Pacific time here, so we are just getting started. We've been going for an hour and a half with this third attempt, or is this fourth attempt? I think this is fourth attempt.
Third? Fourth?
I got 3 alerts, so I'm thinking so that was 3 clips, and then this is the fourth. And it's still so I think we're good on the fourth finally.
So far, so good. Whew.
Yeah.
Because that was weird to not figure out that we had to put in a description.
So, smashed window. We're gonna have a secondary conversation here in a second about your name because I got a question for you about why it's called smashed window. But
I always trip out when I see people's names anyway because some are just fascinating. I'm like,
But yeah, because like I have a theory and I want to talk about it. But just so you're tracking, there is a link in. I need to put this one not on this, but on here. There's a link in the description to the auction that we're talking about here. So this is an auction for our nonprofit. I started a nonprofit in 2021 to help end veteran homelessness, and we're going to start here in Southern California because the problem is the worst here. There's 65,000 veterans currently homeless in the country. 11,000 of those are in California. That's a very large percentage of that 65, right? That is
a huge amount.
Insane. Out of 50 states, that 11,000 out of 65 are in California. So knowing that the problem is the worst here and I'm in a position to potentially be able to do something about it after talking about it over and over and over again on podcasts, I kind of decided I'm going to do something about it. And I was homeless as a teenager, so I just know that I can connect better, and I'm creative at solving problems, and I think that creative problem solving is what's needed in this sphere right now because traditional solutions clearly haven't worked, and I don't think we're going in the right direction when we come to how we have access to solve these problems by creating more and more red tape and bureaucracy to even just access basic funding to be able to come up with creative solutions. You have to have all these things that tick all these boxes that don't make any sense. So we're working to try to create a fairly creative solution.
That actually brings up an interesting question on veteran homelessness.
I don't think I put a link to our website in the video description, but it's rescueresidents.org. It's pretty easy. And on there we talk a little bit about the creative part of this, and you know about it, but the ambulances, right? So that's usually where I start losing people.
What ambulance? What?
So we are going to get retired ambulances that are, vehicles that have lived a life of service themselves, and partner them up with a person who has lived a life of service but is just lost in their way, has struggled or has, hit challenges that they didn't know how to overcome. And we're going to kind of partner that together and help them get themselves back on their feet and ready to then be trained in a job that is marketable, anywhere in the country. Mm-hmm. And then while they're living in ambulances we've converted over, they start to learn what they like and don't like about each layout, and then they'll design and build one to their own design and specifications with our team. So that becomes their vessel to then take that job somewhere else in the country and take their house with them and be able to really get a fresh start. Really gives them a good chance at that second chance being one that can last and can survive, but can also be for someone who maybe isn't someone who fits really well into the box system that the rest of society lives in, where they expect you to live in an apartment and have a Honda Civic and drive 15-20 miles to work every day and work 40 hours a week. Be
happy with $5 a gallon for
yeah, and with these you're going to be paying, there's that,
which is
a lot of times right now it's worse, and the mileage isn't great either, and these are big vehicles, so they're going to consume some costly gas.
That in itself presents what happened up there?
Glitch in the Matrix, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, Facebook's it looked like it lost the stream for a second. That might be that key frame rate thing.
That's strange.
Yeah, it's cutting in and out, but we can look and see if we can adjust the key frame rate.
Cutting in and out though, so on the actual thing. No.
Well, you're still pulling it off of cell phone. This might be me picking it back up off Wi-Fi while also running all this other stuff at the same time.
Oh, you're not hardwired?
No. That's what we were talking about earlier, because it's all over
I
there.
didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, everything's on Wi-Fi.
Crazy.
So there's bound to be some choppiness going up and down right in here. So
that's interesting. But the diesel versus...
Yeah.
How long before you can drop an electric motor?
I would love to do that. So one of the things that's going to be one of my rules with our designs is no propane. So even though a lot of them, if you go look up, we have a playlist on our YouTube channel of all of the other videos I've looked at of people's ambulance conversions, specifically ambulance conversions, and good layout designs, good concepts, good things they've done for their builds, so that I can take cues off of it and understand someone will say we have this much battery storage and we have this much solar panels and we have these many things pulling, and with that size solar panels and these size batteries by 11 a.m. all of our batteries are charged, right? So I can pick up those notes and be like, okay, so that ratio, and I'm kind of learning as I go through this, right? And luckily we're bringing in someone to the board who is does ambulance conversions already, so has done one twice with the same ambulance. Because this is something I learned about it too, is that there's never a done version. It's much like the room space we were talking about earlier. They're constantly updating. You're always improving your position, right? That's what we talk about. So it's coming up over there too. It might be signal issues. Maybe I don't need to monitor all of them in here, but
let's see here. Okay, so I see live still on YouTube,
and I don't think the YouTube one's having issues. It seems
YouTube's still good.
It seems like it has run. No, see, it's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Such viewers will experience buffering. The stream health was fine earlier, but now it's getting weird. What's changed?
That's interesting.
One of the things that changed is we got Facebook going.
That's true. That did.
But YouTube was working fine for a while there too.
And YouTube's still... Actually, where are we at in so we're not that far behind, so that's good.
Yeah, and we can look at the stream settings and make sure that it's getting enough keyframes. Facebook's at least giving us a clue as to specifically what the problem is which is keyframe rate. So we can come back to that.
Sneak in there for a second. I'm curious.
Yeah, of course.
Turn on monitor. That usually helps. Oh.
Yeah.
Look at that.
What's that about? So, but one of the things I want to do is make sure that all of our builds, that the power and like the design is such that they don't have another bill, right? We're talking about people who are already struggling
True.
to keep things together and run their finances and get back on their feet. So adding propane on top of diesel, on top of their food, and top of like whatever else is not a thing we need to do, because we can get all electric appliances and a larger battery bank and more solar panels and make it so they literally just go park somewhere and they recharge their ability to cook their food or heat the place or whatever. I will allow for diesel heaters. The diesel heaters are very efficient and don't use a whole lot of energy, and you're buying diesel already anyways to run the truck.
True.
So shouldn't be too big of a deal to buy a couple gallons more than, or to end up using a couple gallons more than you would have if you were just driving around. Yeah, I see it frozen in a really weird spot over there.
Interesting. Yeah, it did. Oh, hey, yeah.
Making good faces. Hopefully everybody's seeing that. That's good.
Oh, now it's back, yeah.
Yeah, it's moved through.
So, because I see this says
Seems like it's buffering.
upload speed. So 10.4 megabits per second.
You're on a test?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's always like my
Yeah, run a speed test. See what's
metric
happening.
to see. Yeah, 10.4.
On the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So now, which probably should be what you're pulling in.
Yeah, it should be about the same.
But let me see here.
I'm not seeing any errors in the actual video stream that's coming through on the YouTube side. Like looking at this, it doesn't look like it. Facebook is showing it. It looks like it's buffering a lot from time to time. So
I wonder as well if it's because we didn't give it the keyframes
right
from earlier. We're just like, nah.
It'll be fine. But now it keeps falling out of sync faster and faster.
Let's see here.
So talked about Superman. We talked about the ambulance is a little
being so, because you have a trailer.
Yes. Yep. Travel trailer, RV, tow it with truck.
Someone like myself that's grown up camping in trailers, motorhomes, all of that. Refrigerators are propane.
So you don't have to.
Oh.
So there's 12-volt fridges.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm planning on them all being 12-volt. It's like the one we have in our travel trailer is run on 110, but it also can switch over to propane. So like it runs on electric off the inverter, but then if you lose that 110 at any point or whatever, it automatically switches over to propane and keeps itself cold.
That's kind of cool. That
Yeah.
eliminates the potentially eliminates the. Gotta make sure everything's level.
What, for propane?
Yeah. At all times.
Is that an issue with propane?
Yeah, I remember my dad always being a stickler for that. I don't know why, because that made no sense to me. Because
yeah, I'm not picking it up either.
I never understood that. Maybe somebody, that's.
Yeah, if there's anybody watching, although I see that right now, at least YouTube 0 viewers, but we lost Smashed Window.
Where'd Smashed Window go?
Yeah, because I was going to ask him some questions. It's 4 a.m. when we went to sleep.
So they're North Carolina? Oh, there it is.
Can't start already. No. I mean, at least somewhere East Coast.
I mean, there's a lot of places on the East Coast.
So, oh no, see, look, there's someone there. So for some reason up here, look, it shows 0 viewers, but he just responded.
So, I don't know why, and I've asked a bunch of streamers and influencers why that happens, and they don't even know why that happens.
So in here, is it showing
Because the count of people actually watching sometimes is not actually what is going on.
So what do you mean by crew? Are you talking about who's here working right now? Well, I'll start by answering the question as you maybe give me some little clarification, because you talk about. I yawned again. That's not
That's
good.
two.
Yes, that's too many in a row.
That's all that. Where's my chocolate milk?
Yeah, you want to grab me a water out of the fridge when you get a chance to?
Which is a pretty badass fridge, by the way.
Oh yeah, I got this little
Frigidaire.
Yeah, and then like I have a video of it today. My daughter got for her birthday. It's you just pull.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's not actually a mechanical handle like those. So it looks like the classic like 1950s Frigidaires, and it's red, and it's got the bent out handle, so it looks like it should latch and pull like do the latching thing. It doesn't do that. It's just it is modern as far as how the seal goes together, which is good because those older seals sucked.
Yeah, there's. Although it'd be cool to have an older refrigerator like that.
Okay, just in general. So right here, right now, there's two of us. It's me, and I'm the founder and executive director, and also technically currently board president, which is not a thing that's supposed to happen. But when you kind of start a new nonprofit, the small crew of people who are starting it kind of end up being all things all the time.
There's a question.
So to start a nonprofit, the board of directors is required to be at least 3 people. And the way a nonprofit works is there is no owner, right? So you look at most corporations, like who's the owner of the corporation.
Yep.
And the way nonprofits work, the owner of the nonprofit is the citizens of the United States of America, right? And we just are running it for you. So it has to start with 3, and the 3 that started it originally was myself, Cronus, who'll be on here, it's Rasan Barker, and Cheyenne Thompson, or Shy Time is My Time, on YouTube. 3 of us were the people who put the paperwork together. And I'm being generous. I mean, love the guys, but I did all the paperwork. They signed it, right?
You're like, hey, I need someone.
This thing needs signatures. You guys good to do this with me? And they're down for what the mission and the concept was. So my goal in our bylaws and the way we wrote it is to have 15 total board members, because you always kind of want to have an odd number, right? So when you're voting, there's never a need for a tiebreaker. And then one of our bylaw rules is that 51% minimum are veterans. Like, we always must have at least half of the people who are on the board who are veterans, since the mission is specifically to support veterans. We're going to probably update them on our next go-round to include, I want to say a minimum of 2, but I don't know how much the board's going to feel for that, of people with lived experience, someone who's been homeless as well. I think that's important. We're talking about helping veterans, but we're also talking about helping veterans that have experienced homelessness, and it's a different thing. I've done it, and I know that others have too, and I think having gone through that is kind of important.
Yes, being homeless is very strange.
Yeah, it's a different mindset. To try to move from it is, I think, the important thing to understand is that's why phase 1 for us is 100% focused on just set you up safe and ready to work your way through getting your brain and your body back to ready to be a normal part of society. Because spending any significant period of time wondering, when am I going to eat next, where am I going to eat next, where am I going to sleep tonight, it takes so much of your energy. You stop thinking about other things, and it's hard to spin those gears back up. So it takes a little bit of time. So we're going to build that into the system. That's going to be a natural part of what we do. So specifics right now, there's actually 5 board members approved. 5? Actually, I'm actually going to count by people, so it's me. So we have 6 approved board members. We have 2 pending approvals from the board. Once they submit their bios, that's one of them. And then the other is Tanya the Ambulance. If you look them up on Instagram, they're someone I've been tagging all of these items. They are the one I was talking about who is already done ambulance conversions and is joining the board to kind of bring us that angle of it. Was never a veteran, or was never in the service, so is not a veteran, I guess.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, and we need some different perspectives too.
Because we see things a certain way, which is not exactly how the general public sees things.
Yeah, and so Kathy on our board is I think currently is the only non-veteran, and she's one of the ladies that while I was homeless functioned as mom for me from time to time, and is definitely someone who there's a couple ladies that I call on Mother's Day. Help me survive my hard times. And she's one, and so then that was kind of a natural call to call her up and talk to her about what we're doing. But what I found out in that, because I mean I've been doing this for 23 years, so I haven't known what she's done in that time either as well, right? So she's been on a bunch of nonprofit boards. She's served in hospital boards and a bunch of other stuff too. So she has experience with the nonprofit stuff too, which is providing me with someone to bounce stuff off of on that side of it, and help me realize I'm missing a lot of stuff. Like that. All right, I didn't even think about that.
And it's amazing when you finally when someone tells you something like, "How did I miss that?" Because it seems so obvious.
So right now I'm trying to put the board together more than anything, because that's kind of the governing body. That's the way that's supposed to work. But I think prior to even, I don't think we'll hit 15 board members before I need to hire a couple of staff members. We're in the process of working some big project stuff, and one of two people are going to be the first person I hire. One is going to be either a development director. In the nonprofit world, a development director is basically the person who manages all of your fundraising. So kind of the person that figures out how you make money, right? That's part of how nonprofits are supposed to function is you make money through the development process in order to do your mission. So you develop funds in order to do your mission. So they're a development director, grant writer, is like I'm trying to decide if I hire the development director who's going to need to hire a grant writer, or are we small enough right now that I just go ahead and hire direct a grant writer, plan that as part of it, hire the grant writing stuff first, get them writing grants and generating the funds, basically doing the actions of development, while I then kind of manage the development as a development director would until we're like doing enough grants to go, okay, we've got grants and we've got fundraising and we've got finance coming through other sources, bonds and other things. Like, okay, I need a development director who's managing all of those different avenues. Right now, what my focus is hiring one grant writer. I can just hire the grant writer.
Grants, I'm assuming, have to be written in a certain...
They do. It's a very unique skill. You can hire them on Fiverr.
Which is actually...
I almost did a couple. I'm like, hey, I need... here's a grant.
Before.
Here's a grant. Like, feed that to that grant writer. And once we come to agreement, and like, here's their normal flat fee that they're going to charge for that grant writing. And then I can feed them one or two that I find. And then eventually, like, can you just do minimum this number each month for a fee? And then be like, hey, basically, I've hired you at this point. You want to just work for us?
Yeah.
So
grow that
a little bit.
Before, though. You can find, like, people on there that are really good at their skills.
Yeah, and that's I got banned
from Fiverr.
From Fiverr.
That's possible?
It is, apparently. So I created the account for the nonprofit, trying to find a grant writer, and then I sent this same exact recruitment message basically to try to get grant writer to like 10 grant writers, and they're like, stop spamming people, you're kicked out. And there was not even like a warning. There was no warning like, hey, you shouldn't just send the exact same message, even though like it's basically a job announcement and I want to hit a couple people and then pick the best. Like, that's not how this works. I didn't know. I've never used Fiverr.
That's crazy.
I literally created the account the day before. It may not even been 10. I think it was like 5 messages. You basically copy paste, right? Hey, I know what I want to say to this person. Here's the kind of work we're doing. I want them to know about our mission and what I want to try to do.
That's
kicked
funny
off
as
Fiverr.
hell. I've never known anyone be kicked off Fiverr before.
Well, there you go. Managed to make that happen somehow. So hopefully that answers your question, Smash Window. So now I got one for you. Does it have anything to do with the broken window theory? Do you know the broken window theory?
No. It's amazing how dumb I am sometimes.
I will say,
random things of knowledge I know. People are just like, wow, you're a nerd. And then all these things I feel like I should know. I'm like, I had no idea.
Yeah. So there's this weird thing that happens when I'm, like, the way I learn things. If I like read something or interact with someone and like learn a new thing, I just yawned on there, but I haven't done that in a while. It's gonna make me yawn again. So the is it really far behind?
Let's see. That's the Facebook one, right?
No, that's YouTube Studio. Never mind. I guess I must have just yawned and I didn't even realize it. That's how. This is gonna be a rough 24 hours probably. Because here's the weird thing about this: like, if we work a long shift or whatever, and you get into those twilight hours where it's like it's hard to stay awake because it's dark and you've been awake for a while. When you push past that and the sun starts coming up, you're good. Like, as soon as the sun is up, like your body knows, like, it's daytime. I guess it's gonna be the same weirdly lit, awkward shade of freaking half dark in here all 24 hours. So like we're gonna need those break times to go out and like see the sun and come back to be able to still be alive.
But that's also kind of like when you're like during deployments and you have those, like you have watch at like 01 to like 03 or something, and then say you try to go to sleep all of a sudden when your watch is over, but then whatever happened. Yeah, you just can't. You're just like, oh, that's great. Yeah, there goes my sleep.
There we go. Set you up for that.
What?
I needed a moderator. So now you have moderator rights.
Oh boy.
It's what I should, like, if I had known and thought about it, like, well, honestly, I also didn't know what your YouTube handle was. So
I don't even know what my YouTube...
Radio guy.
Oh, that is, huh?
It's right there.
I don't even...
Hey, crazy guy.
I haven't, like, really used it, because all the videos that I post are usually just for someone specific, so I don't actually post them. I just leave them unpublished, and you can only view it with the link.
So let's see, what's it gonna look like? So this is the live display, I think, if I turn that off. So you can see, you see the light, which is a little weird, but you can see all the Lego, which is kind of cool.
Wait, you can see the light.
Like the light.
Oh,
the side of the light thing right here. You can probably scoot that back a little, but then it's gonna be in the way of the fridge, which is a no. Can't do that. So
wait.
then you can see your head. We might actually be able to see you if I shift it. Still be all right.
Oh yeah, you can
still good. It's also a little less harsh on my face, which is probably good. So I normally would want one over here also to reduce this shadow, but okay. So broken window theory. Thanks for keeping us on topic.
Good job. Someone's got to.
Oh, he said I named myself Smashed Window because I heard someone say it in a Metal Gear Solid. Honestly, Radio Guy face reveal. Yeah.
Oh, did I finally show up on camera?
Maybe part of it. Although now you can see the lit portion of the light instead of the.
Oh wait, hold on. Damn, that camera's got one hell of a...
It is. It's like 180 degrees almost. It's crazy.
Wow.
Because I'm sitting way to the side of the center of the camera.
Oh, I see. You took the... I was like, wait, they can only see the top of my head for a second because the one portion...
Because I was trying to see if that's not doing anything. And,
well, because you could also change the aspect... Not the aspect ratio, but the size of your camera to where it's not in the way of... the like if that's what you wanted, for example, so you like resize, I don't know the term, I'm an audio guy, you resize the screen.
He's still saying he never got to see your face, just the top of your head. That's good.
Oh yeah, no, that's it's kind of like I'm what is that, Wilson from Home Improvement?
Just get just the hat over the top of the thing.
You always hear the voice and nothing.
Didn't we see his eyes? I think we could see like here up, right?
Yeah. Could never see below his nose or whatever.
You get a little bit of nose every once in a while. That's funny. So he's the first like one to do that thing, like they did on YouTube. For a lot of people did it for a long time, where they intentionally kind of hid their face in some way, and that was the kind of gimmick piece.
Yep.
That was the first one of them. Like
that
was
really
that.
Was.
That's why that was interesting, because that was what was interesting about Wilson was you didn't know what Wilson looked like.
And even in the very last episode, everyone thought we were going to see what he looked like, and we never did.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So broken window theory is the idea that if you're in a rough part of town and a building has a broken window, then the next time you come by that window, it's far more likely, because if that window stays broken, that another window will be broken. And then the window of a building across the street will be broken. Because if there's broken windows here, nobody gives a shit about this neighborhood. We can throw rocks at windows and break windows, and nobody cares, right? So the idea is that if you let things get run down, they'll just get worse. It just get worse and just get worse. And so if you make a concerted effort to fix even little things, and put forth the effort to show it as looking right, then it'll help steadily improve. It was originally like a social science study conducted by a university, and then it didn't become popular until Giuliani mentioned it and kind of like started implementing it specifically as a strategy for the New York City Police Department. But it was then used to then try to get people on minor crimes.
Oh, God.
That's not what we're trying to do. You're supposed to actually fix the actual neighborhood, not punish people. So, it gets twisted. So that's how that was.
That's strange because that's... Well...
So,
yeah.
Okay, so now I've removed that... No, now I've removed that thing. I went the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
Left and right. Sorry. So by removing that, it removes the QR code, and hasn't shown donations, and it can do that automatically. Although, is it still showing in the stream somehow, or is that just that far behind?
No, on YouTube right now it shows that exactly. Wait, does Facebook?
No, because that's the YouTube.
Oh no, YouTube's like. Let's see, where's YouTube? That's.
Yeah, see?
Whoa!
So it's still showing it. It's pretty. It's not too far behind. That's maybe a minute behind. But I already removed that for sure. Live stream stuff. See, I just talked about removing it. That's weird stuff. You still haven't clapped? It's now 2 hours.
Yeah, almost. It's a little over a minute behind.
Wow.
That is
But it's
crazy.
still showing that though. Either way.
But it's not actually like showing.
It's not on there.
No,
Why is it on this one?
Why is that?
That's super weird. This
What
is
the
showing what the
hell
stream
is-
looks like to me, right?
Oh, because you haven't.
Is that way behind? Okay.
That's way behind.
That was way behind.
Why? How did
Okay.
that get way behind?
I have no idea. Maybe it buffered at one point when it was having all those connection issues. And then...
Huh. Who would have thought?
Okay.
Y'all should
That was
sleep
weird.
on stream. That was a weird moment. That's...
So there's options for us to take turns potentially. I haven't shown you where your room is yet.
I took a nap earlier today. I planned this out. I'm going old school Marine Corps and...
Yeah, I did not get to take a nap. I had to...
You had to immediately...
build this entire damn option all day
Go
long.
through from your daughter's birthday right into this.
Yeah. And I'm sure she won't go back and watch this far into this. I felt some flack. I won't say I specifically got it, but it sure sounded like flack. But I can't tell for sure. I also now have to like we're talking about maybe doing some initial work with the grill tomorrow. I don't know. We'll figure out. We may have you take the helm for another gap hour or something.
Okay with doing it.
Yeah,
The
for a little bit of time.
Old school Navy terms. I love them.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that's a little more common than other ones, like taking the helm. You know, something
Yeah.
like people kind of, but and I gotta or I don't know, we'll see what they want to do. It's an opportunity for them to shine as well, ladies. to assemble the goddamn grill. Because they wanted to grill out tomorrow too, like grill some stuff for tomorrow, and then we're gonna for sure grill on 4th of July. But I was like, I gotta assemble it 4th of July morning.
I'm still tripping out about the fact that it's got an air fryer.
38-inch grill, 4 burners on the top of it or whatever.
I mean, I remember the old school Weber. I still have them.
Yeah, charcoal.
The Weber charcoal grill.
Standard
That's
old
what we
charcoal
took
grill.
camping with us.
Yeah.
That was what we had in the backyard forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually pretty much all we ever had.
Okay, so we now need to transition again to the next piece. So we still need to be selecting items that don't have... So I only have 22 items too.
But good news
Not
is you
24.
get to scroll through on the screen.
Huh?
Not 24, wait. Really?
Yeah, I didn't end up with 24. I got pretty close, and I'm okay with that. So one option. So it actually have more than 24 because there's 4 cups, but I'm gonna do the cups in 1 hour.
Oh,
Like they were originally gonna be like this one grouping. There's also some hot sauces.
I was wondering about those because I was very curious.
And he's going to come on for that hour, and it's 4 packs of 2 that I kind of combined. He was originally thinking you just get 2 of whichever flavor you want. I was like, yeah, but I think at this stage someone should be getting like a combo. Like I want to try each 2 different kinds. So you got to pick which combo set you want. But so if you count, especially that's 8, and then this is 4. So
And
there's
who
really
doesn't love barbecue sauce?
Yeah, they're we're gonna talk about it. They're kind of barbecue, kind of hot sauces. I think they're basically like a spicy barbecue sauce.
Ooh,
They're all hot. They're all hot sauces.
Oh,
Yeah. So that conversation actually came up because I saw his post where he did some ribs with his sauces, and he does a root beer hot sauce. Right. And I was like, oh god, that'd be so good because I'm all into ginger beers. If you did a hot sauce with ginger beer, because ginger beer itself is already kind of spicy. It's like that thing's gonna kick.
What's a ginger beer?
You haven't had a ginger beer?
No.
All right, so I have ginger
stopped
beers.
Drinking probably.
Oh, it's no beer. It's not a beer.
Oh, it's not.
It's a soda. It's like root beer.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I have ginger beers. We're gonna have a ginger beer in a minute. So I do drink with the ginger beers, but what you make is a Moscow Mule.
Oh, I shouldn't say I stopped drinking because I do occasionally drink. I just don't drink like I did during that 7-year straight party of the Marine Corps.
Yeah. No, I'll have a drink a couple nights a week or whatever, and then every once in a while I'll have 2 or 3, but I don't drink a whole lot anymore either. I do like a drink though.
Every now and then it's good to have.
So I'm trying to decide if I need to make a new name for it because I thought... So I did some research and I found that Moscow Mules were originally made with gin. That's what I was told, right?
Okay.
But I don't think that that's true because apparently the originating bar for Moscow Mules is an LA bar. And they used Cock and Bull, specifically, the ginger beer. And... Oh, they said the name of it. I can't remember, but a particular brand of vodka also. Like they very specifically said this is exactly what we made the first ones out of.
Interesting.
So I was like, well, where the heck did this gin story come from then? Because I like them way better with gin. So much better. And so then there's a whole bunch of other mules in air quotes. So like you can get a Mexican mule and it's made with tequila. So it's still ginger beer, it's still lime, and it's just to change out the alcohol.
Oh,
so
cool.
if I like gin, and I've looked and there's not one already. So now is that a Dutch mule? Because gin was originally made in Holland. So it could be a Dutch mule, right? That's what I would call it. So I might start ordering it and then seeing if I just get stupid looks from people and then explaining what it is until it catches on enough for it. I'll be that guy.
There's always got to be.
It's got to be somebody.
That guy. Somewhere.
So I do want to grab those. I think we'll keep Superman up there for this next hour.
I think so because that thing is pretty damn cool.
Work our way through it. I mean, and it's a good one. And I do think I kind of like the live display up there. The Lego stuff is cool, but
I think it's a great background, actually.
So the reason I liked it is that a lot of shows do something in the background that has like objects, individual big things you can kind of look at. Some do some kind of flat colored background with just like one thing, that kind of is the centerpiece of it. And I felt like it kind of hits both, where it's a single big object, but there's lots of little color variation to it. And I think, especially if like I could fill out almost the whole back area with shelves like that.
Yep.
Look for that one.
There you go.
These, it's just like it's a far reach. Trust me. These are like the perfect look, right? So that's where I thought if I end up with this thing set where I can build in it, fill the whole wall out basically.
I'm trying to think of where the camera would. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that would be weird with the camera facing.
So I've seen a few, and I was thinking about the mirrors too.
Back
the good
that
thing
way.
about a camera angle at a mirror is the room looks huge.
Oh, that's
Right,
right.
it looks much bigger, and that's always an issue on camera. Is like this feels super constricted on me right now.
Yeah.
Even though the room's okay size, it's not gigantic.
Yeah,
I think,
it's
but
not like the end.
No.
Typical,
So that's why a lot will do corners too. So if you do a camera shot towards a corner, it increases the visual look of the space by giving you the two angles that the lines come out.
Yeah, that's.
And so even this is actually kind of towards the corner. If I remove
bigger.
this out of the way, it would look like a bigger room. But this is cutting it off right now. This is cutting it off right now.
There it is. Yeah. No, that's because my original when I first started doing live streaming, my original backdrop was just an all black background.
Yeah.
And then that transitioned to when I had like the home studio to a chalkboard wall background.
Okay, that's cool.
Which
did you have stuff drawn on it? You would write something up there all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Or like the kids would do something, or it was. But then I realized chalk and electronic equipment, not a good idea.
He says he feels like we have. Okay, so are you talking about one of us specifically, or probably both of us?
Wait.
ADHD.
Oh, that
We've
I'm
talked-
horrible with
We've
that.
talked about this already.
Good luck.
One, it's late, and so the best way to actually get over this is to just let the conversation flow to whatever catches your interest.
My personal live streams are horrible. If I'm like I'm gonna stay on. I never stay on topic.
Yeah.
It goes off into some weird tangent, and then I feel like I have to have the inner nerd come out of me and explain something that nobody cares about.
He said probably both. Yeah. So Smash Window. How do we know you, or did you just like find this? Yeah. How'd you find this kind of crazy stream?
Of yes.
And like you said, of us randomly kind of bouncing off of subjects. Right now, we're in this weird period in this stream where we're mostly kind of focused on making sure that the stream is technically functioning.
Gonna run just fine.
Yeah. So like we still had some issues with how the feed was going properly into Facebook. I think it's still probably kind of being chunky.
Message retracted. Why?
Too low frames per second now.
So it'll do that occasionally. It sounds like just because obviously internet speeds over.
Yeah.
Air.
It definitely does not like the keyframe. It immediately told me the keyframe issue. Pops right back.
Huh.
Very quickly. Well,
Isn't
I
that-
closed it and then it popped right back up, and now this time it's not. So we're doing stuff like that. Kind of mostly just chatting to let things run and see how they go, while still introducing some of the stuff that doesn't have an external person to like come in and talk to us about what they donated. This Superman thing.
I accidentally clicked.
Nice.
Yes.
Got an accidental
At
stream.
least you're honest.
Yeah. Like.
What concert video was it? A Foo Fighters video?
Yeah. What concert was it?
Was it
So
a
like
good
stuff
one?
like we still haven't set up
Oh, the Stream Deck.
the Stream Deck at all. Like we got this Stream Deck and we haven't done anything with it yet. So not that I know exactly what we would do with it. You said you used it.
Oh, I use it all the time for everything.
And so I know one of the good things would be we have a couple of scenes set
You
up
can
so that we
change
can
scenes,
just quickly
you can-
switch between scenes. Sound effects. I know there's
Oh,
a
you
sound
can
effects
do
thing,
all
right?
of, yeah.
So we might start setting that up here in a little bit.
There's when I used to run. Granted, I'm a Mac guy. I have my computer sitting over there. But when I used to run a podcast for Leatherneck for Life, I ran the show and we were on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all at the same time, but I had to have the 2 different softwares open because of the aspect ratio
for Instagram. Yeah.
And that Stream Deck right there was the one that allowed me to just hit one button. Both programs changed automatically. And so whatever happened on Facebook and YouTube happened exactly on Instagram at the same time.
That's
and we never
cool.
had to worry about it.
Yeah, nice. Okay. So I did think of something. So he says the band was Death Grips. I'm not familiar. Might have to look them up. We're going to have to look that up.
Yeah.
So one of the things we're missing, you talk about our ADHD, is a parking lot, right? So I work in instruction mostly for Marines. One of the things we do is we go, that's a really cool idea. I do want to talk about that, but I think maybe we should hold off on that because we need to stay on subject. Let's put that in the parking lot and come back to it later, right? So that we don't lose it because it is the thing we want to talk about. But maybe by the time we come back to it, we're like, yeah, never mind, we're good. We don't need to talk about that. So that we can stay on subject. But I don't have a good parking lot set up. Right
No.
now, so we can maybe figure that out later. One of the things we need to do, because I think we're going to need it in probably the next hour or so, is put together a break video that we can make a scene so that we can play that video, have a 5-minute break.
Oh, yeah.
Go on, use the restroom, grab a snack, something. Because if we're running this 24 hours, we're going to need to be able to take 5-minute breaks here or there. So I was tempted to try to share the screen. Yeah, parking lot's full.
I love this guy.
Yeah, dude. I'm enjoying you hanging out with us. I appreciate it. Yeah.
He's like, all right, I got to see where the shit show goes.
Yeah. Well, there is a different one. If you want a good shit show, there's a channel on Instagram.
We did that last night, and that was.
I could only watch part of it because I was driving, and I was like, I don't feel safe. It was dark, and I was driving back from Desert Hot Springs, and I was like, nope. I dropped all the kids off after my daughter's birthday party.
I was coming up the grade earlier tonight, and I was like, thank God my phone reception cut out because I hadn't been up that road in forever. I was like, oh,
you got to focus.
And then I started getting blown around. I was like, oh, that's a pretty heavy crosswind.
Yeah.
Do you have Zoom on there?
Yeah.
Is on the Streamlabs is the virtual cam?
Yeah. I set it up. Because I thought I was going to originally do Google Hangouts to bring them in.
We might see my face finally.
You want to zoom in from over there? Just come in as a caller?
No, actually, what I was thinking, I don't know why this didn't dawn on me.
This is why we start at midnight.
Yes, this is exactly why, because ideas eventually.
Yeah, they'll percolate. While he's setting this up, whatever he's working on, because he hasn't explained it yet.
Yeah, I swear there's a point to it.
Yeah. We'll get it once you kind of test it. Smash Window, did you get a chance to look at what this thing is that is in this corner here and actually go check out the auction? See what it is we're working on, or check out our website at all? Did you learn anything about... I know I told you a little bit about our mission, but...
Are you current military, prior military? Don't care about the military.
Oh, there you go. I mean, that's a good question. Yeah. Are you a veteran or are you active duty? I think it's crazy, though, that you just kind of accidentally ended up here. That's pretty fun. You've been definitely helping out, keeping the conversation going.
Alive.
Yeah, for sure.
Where are you? Instagram. Oh my god, did I send that many messages out?
Yeah, well, no, that's mostly Smashed Window.
No, on my Instagram message. Yeah, because when you send out a thing, it pushes everything else. So you went from the top all the way down to the bottom of my feed.
Eventually, I'm gonna need to figure out this keyframe issue on Facebook. But
okay, so I just sent you that. So if I go, no, I don't want to.
So one of the things I was thinking we could do is build that ad, right? I have a video clip already that I used as a YouTube video intro for a while. Let's see if we can maybe access that, take a look at it. So what I want to be able to do, though, is share that with the audience. I may have to just do a screen share to do whatever project we're going to work on. So maybe we make another scene that is project share.
Yes.
And then it's just going to be whatever is over here. So that way, as I'm flipping through things on this screen to get the work done, so you'd see even where I access files and what I'm editing. So
that's never fun to have all of a sudden show up on your live feed.
What's that?
When you're like working on one screen, and all of a sudden all of your stuff. You're like,
Right.
oh, hey, that's being seen by the entire world right now.
Yeah, you just gotta make sure what's on that screen is things you don't mind everybody seeing on that screen. So, I think we'll duplicate probably this one, huh?
So, I just sent. If you look on your Instagram, I just sent the Zoom link. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that video feed through Zoom, and I'm going to patch it into the other program on my computer that can go live on Instagram. So everything that you're doing there is. I want to see if that'll work.
You said that message is in Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so for the fundraising goal, specific to this event, no, not like a target to it. It's trying to do the best we can with what we've got. I started it in December of 2021, technically, but really didn't get to start working and building it and doing anything with this nonprofit until January of 2022. So we're a little over a year and a half old, and it's been mostly like direct me calling people I know and talking to them about what it is we're doing to get fundraising going. And so this is the first like fundraising event that I've gathered together and kind of put on.
Which I will say, as someone that's worked with nonprofits before, you are very far along. Like, you are further ahead than most.
Was it you talking to me like about winging it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I'm like, wait, he really just like, no, he's really winging it. Like, he's just going for it. I like it.
Like I said, I started it a year ago. I you know what I did? I listened to every single Nonprofit Everything episode, and I got a good idea of what's going on. So bringing it back around to a subject or a conversation I didn't finish earlier because of the ADHD, like you talked about.
I love how he's 18 years old.
And he's like, y'all got
well,
issues.
yeah, you got ADHD.
So I listened to every single one of those, and they had a trend going through them where what he said is that people stop or like fail to understand or treat nonprofits like a business. It is 100% a business. You have to do all of the things that other businesses do. But if you picture that you're someone who's thinking, I want to start a business, I kind of want to run a business of my own, what should I do, right? And if you decided to make a video game of that choice, right? You're like, okay. I am starting business, and it's now a video game, and the video game is start a business. If you choose normal mode, you choose the standard business model. If you choose hard mode, you choose nonprofit.
So standard business model will be like typical LLC or
corporation. Yeah, because nonprofits have to do all of the same things. Like, you still have to like make smart business decisions and do business things, but you also have all of these extra rules you have to follow in order to, be properly permitted and allowed, and it's just so many extra layers of just crap to go through to make it function properly. And then at the same time, you're fighting uphill against the concept that people think you're supposed to work for free. Like, no, like nonprofit does not mean I don't get paid to do the work that I'm doing. It means that our mission is, for a positive good, in its main sense, and that the money that we do make goes to that goal, right? That's the goal, and that means so. Take my organization specifically, for example. If I'm buying a bunch of old ambulances and I need a diesel mechanic to make those things be good, roadworthy, functional vehicles that we can trust to actually take care of these people that we're supposed to help with this mission, right? Is that mechanic supposed to work for free? No, right? So they are on staff, they are paid a salary like they should be getting paid if they were working at a for-profit mechanics shop. It's just that the work that they do is specifically for this public good purpose. So you have to fight against that like stigma, that concept that it permeates society when we have to move out of that. There is no reason that someone who's building this concept and this thing isn't getting paid for the work that they're doing. So,
well, there's also the fact too that you have to, every dollar is literally accounted for.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
So to speak. Yeah. Whereas, depending on the type of business that someone starts on their own, it's not as heavily it's regulated. you know, the IRS wants to come audit you,
Yeah.
and you are doing things you're not supposed to, then yes, you'll. But with nonprofits, it's like, okay, where did this penny go?
Yeah.
Why was this penny spent? Are you sure that that's not too much to pay this person because it has to be a reasonable?
Yeah, a reasonable wage is what the terminology for for nonprofit stuff says. So then you're supposed to base it off of this annual report that comes out that says what different positions within nonprofits get paid. But it's like, I have a creative one, like, or a position that's not a normal thing, or you're carrying technically 3 of them. Like, I don't know, it gets complicated. But one of the best things is most of these rules were created before we're dealing with the almost all online, all digital, electronic transactions, all with transaction fees.
Oh,
How do I account for all these transaction fees? What category does that go into? Am I paying those, or is the customer paying those? Is that a tax write-off? Does that count as a part of their donation? Like, those rules aren't clear. And so we get to try and then hope the IRS doesn't slam us for it.
This is why I always tell people, and this is actually on topic, when you go to a store and if you feel bad, when they go, would you like to donate, like, the chain, you know,
Yeah.
round up and donate to this cause? And I always say no. Someone once told me, well, that's like, how come you can't do that? I said, well, you're not giving me the tax write-off.
Yeah.
They're getting the tax write-off.
At scale, too, right? So imagine, like, it's a corporation with franchise, and they're doing it across all of their franchises in every single city in the country, and you're just oh, it's just 30 cents, just round up.
Yeah.
Yeah, times 8,000 freaking people every day.
I don't hate Walmart and all the other companies for doing it. It's a smart decision.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you know, it makes sense, but I'm just not. I'm not going to do it because I don't get the tax write-off.
Yeah, and so, this part of this, like, you know what I'm doing right now with all of my extra money is this. I'm already doing a nonprofit thing. Like, I still do March of Dimes for my annual amount because we had a child that we lost due to, like, birth defect stuff, and so for me that's a personal support that I want to provide to another nonprofit. But, like, the random pet sanctuary one, like, love your mission, we'll support you if we can partner together, but, like, I got to build my own thing right now.
Yeah.
And I know that my mission's important too, and so I if we could partner and do a vets with pets, you know, thing, let's do it. But, like, it rhymes, right? I already stopped. This is already happening. Yeah, there's the ADHD spinning background.
Oh boy.
But let's figure out how we can share editing this video together. Oh my god.
I'm still tripping out by the 18 aspect. Like,
what? Oh, our guest who's here right now? Yeah. That's a good one.
Kids these days seem to just surprise me because there's no in between.
Mm-hmm.
They are super brilliant, well aware of everything going on, or they're complete airheads.
Yeah.
Maybe I was just that dumb.
Maybe. All right. So
I mean,
what I'm looking for, you wanted me to on a bet? That does sound like a pretty bad reason to do it. Yeah.
I lost a bet.
All right. So what did you want me to do here? Sorry.
Oh, click on if you're on Instagram. Just click on the link.
I did already. I'm now to Zoom.
Oh,
we're working. We're getting.
Oh, it's going.
Update. Okay. I have to update Zoom. Well, while that downloads, I'll keep searching.
Donated. I'm confused.
I want to look up Death Grips, but if I look it up, then it's going to play it, and I want to hear it, but then it's going to be on the live stream, and then it might.
Oh,
end
yeah,
up
then you're going to get. But
it's copyright strike. So
good news is I can do that quietly.
Yeah, I guess I could put headphones on and listen. Rescue Residents. Basics.
What kind of band is this? Smashed Window?
Yeah, I can't decide if it's like emo because Death Camp for Cutie kind of go on the death side there, or if it's like screamo, like, or it's just metal.
I wonder if it's a legit metal band.
Yeah.
Let's see here. 422,000. Okay, so they're actually fairly big then. 422,000 subscribers.
Is that a? Oh man.
That's like number
Another
5.
Yeah. Is that a YouTube video you're looking at or what?
No, that's their this band Death Grips. That's how many subscribers they have on YouTube.
Alright, so that's the YouTube ending video. That's the intro video. So let's open that. I think the intro video I have for our the plan for the more production based YouTube videos I was planning on doing. Automatically keep Zoom up to date. Okay, thanks. Yep. Because if you use this video output in the Zoom meeting, you can then stream the Zoom meeting. Is that what you're thinking?
Yep.
Okay. But it's not showing. I might need to go back in and start the camera up again.
Oh wait. Oh yeah. Does that say join?
Yeah, but it's
because you guys
Streamlabs desktop virtual.
What's the OBS virtual camera?
But I'm not using OBS.
Oh. Well, that makes sense.
So it should be the Streamlabs one. But it might need to be turned on. Settings. Get out of the way.
Oh, virtual camera. Down there?
Running. There it is.
Alright.
Boom.
Oh, I love
Why is it inverted?
No, it is not. Is the... Oh, okay, so this is a good thing. I was to check the donations thing to see if it's updating. I was told to check.
Okay. How'd you get told that?
Person
Okay.
of
Join with computer audio.
Yes. Because I can mute it over here.
Okay, I'm moving that over there so it's out of the way for now. So let me check this other thing.
Now, we go.
It did.
So the actual site does.
Well, and I haven't... It would if it was up there. Like, it's just not being shown right now.
Oh, okay. So that's all right. So there's that. We did have. Oh, that's too funny. Really?
What?
The number.
Yes, I saw that too. Couldn't do change also? Come on.
No, I know exactly why they did that. That is hilarious to me. So wait, how do I get? Oh, I do not do this. Because I do this all the time. We go here.
Yeah, that's... I wonder... So, is there a way for me to see numbers of bids potentially too? So yeah, if I just flip to it and then flip back out, it'll update. And I bet it would update automatically if I just kept it up over here.
This one can go away. This one can...
You're working on trying to get it to...
That is correct.
There's the Adobe Premiere.
Oh, Adobe Premiere Pro.
Okay.
Never teach yourself how to edit videos on Adobe Premiere Pro.
Why?
Because that is one crazy program. And when you don't understand video, it gets very confusing.
Yeah. Okay, so I gotta locate all these files.
So how do I? We're gonna go with. There's that.
So that's a big dono. Oh, the donation. Yeah, indeed. Appreciate that so much. I know that some of it was probably like testing something and also sending a message, it sounds like, to somebody?
It's a funny one.
Yeah.
It's nothing crazy. It's my family number. 66.
Well, I figured it needed and 60 cents or something.
No, actually, it's just my favorite number. Nothing. It's the same number my dad and my two uncles wore when they played high school football. I, unfortunately, was not big enough to play a position that would use that number.
Yeah, mine were in the 20s.
So I ended up going, hey mom, can I play hockey? And I wore the number 66 all 10 years. Also the biggest mistake my parents ever made, allowing me to play hockey.
So I need to put it in studio mode, I think, right? Studio mode. And then that'll allow me to go, you're here. And then switch it. How do I switch it? We'll turn that back on because that's what we had. And then we go transition. And we're good. And then I go back to project work and I can remove these. We'll keep that one actually and remove this one. Remove auction browser. Okay. Alright, so in this, that's there. Then what we add is adding a new source. The source is are we going to do screen capture or are we going to do window capture?
We're going to ADD moments.
Window capture.
When one gets lost in...
Add source.
Oh man, that's why I have it routed. Okay, I can do this.
This is...
And that radio guy still has not done face reveal, has he?
No, because I still have you off screen, I think. Yeah. If things are good, they will line up just right, pretty much. Cool, basically. Yeah, let's try this out. So this is, I say project work. I made this what's it called? A scene, right? With the idea that it would always just be this screen that I would use. But then I made it specifically Premiere.
Oh.
So now it will only be if I'm working with Premiere instead of whatever's over here.
I like that layout. I don't know.
Not too shabby.
I'm not very good with that stuff. I still...
I'll be able to crush it, but it's fine. But I do a lot in Premiere.
I have to learn. And the funny thing is I actually have the school book from Adobe.
There was no transition there. It literally just went...
Changed.
It wasn't like transition. A fade in or something.
No, you have to
edit
with
the
those
transitions.
Yeah, you have to click on whichever one.
How do I? Yeah, it doesn't.
There's a transitions window.
Themes. We'll get to that later. Doesn't matter. Not really relevant. If we need to come back to the auction, I can do that. So for now, what I'm trying to do is take this. Oh man, is it going to do this for everything?
Rescue residents.
Okay, so I've got to... The only thing is, this is literally 10 seconds long. That's not going to make a good 5-minute video. Looping 10 seconds of video.
Oh, no. No.
For 5 minutes. Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
But what you could do is take those video shorts that you've made for Instagram.
Yeah.
And just pop those in there if you wanted. As
I'd have to somehow transfer them to here because they're all just on my phone.
Oh, that's that done.
Huh? What?
Consider that done.
How are we gonna do that?
Just download them real fast.
Yeah, I can do that. But I have them on my phone, so I can also just upload them to Google Drive.
That also could be a thing. Google Drive is a thing.
Yeah. But it also looks like all of my these image video ones are.
Oh, they need to find the source.
Yeah. So where's that at? But I'm also thinking about what this was now, and remembering that I don't know that this is what I would want on a 5-minute thing. So I have this idea now to make a new one. Let's just go completely new product. Completely from scratch. So the idea is I have this graphic. It's the one I have on one of the other shirts. It's the like 80s theme looking one. It's like the sun, and it's got. I'll show you.
I think I've seen it. Because I dig this one, like the one that you have on your shirt right now.
Yeah, just the black and
That's
orange.
always
Simple line drawing. Something you gotta do
But
sometimes.
it's cool to have multiple like variations of logos as well, or different types. I get the need for them.
This could work actually. We got a lot of. It's a long footage. It's drone footage. That could be okay.
I would,
Just have it showing the drone footage.
if I ended up with a drone. I
So
could
this
call that.
is 5 minutes long.
Is that like actually 5 minutes long, or was it?
Yeah, it's 5 minutes long.
That's pretty cool. Actually.
5 minutes of drone footage.
That's pretty cool.
So this is of a Love Local CV. It's a vendor fair. We are asking this computer to do a lot right now, though.
Oh, really?
I mean, we're doing all this live streaming, bringing in different media sets, pulling this thing up, and Premiere pulls a lot of resources.
Oh yeah, it's super processing power intensive.
Yeah.
That's why I got this little guy recently. Mac Studio.
Yeah.
It is by far the most powerful computer I've ever owned.
Honestly, I think from a video processing perspective, at least, that my laptop actually might have a better video card than this desktop does now. Just because, like I told you, we built it top of the line, but maybe like 6 years ago. So
as time goes on, technologies advance.
yeah.
Things get outdated, which is crazy how fast things are getting.
So see, like in the drone footage, it's got shots of it set up at the event. You can see my. You can't even see the video clip in this thing. Look.
Oh, where's...
Smash window. Can you see
No, you can't.
the image?
Here, let me pull it up on YouTube, actually.
He says favorite film of all time. I'm assuming it's because he can't see anything. Oh, man. He got there right as I was asking the question, too.
Wait, where are you?
I see it here, but I don't think it's there.
Wait, no, I think,
Or were you talking about something else that's your favorite film of all time? Yeah, I think you can't see it.
no.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
That's
I've got
weird.
YouTube pulled up right now on the computer over here.
Wonder why it does that.
That's interesting.
But yeah, I could take the drone footage clip and just be like, we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Here's some drone footage.
Yeah. So throw some text over the top. So you don't really get to see. So my the new one or the old one?
Oh, definitely the new one.
Yeah.
I might have cried. Maybe a few times.
The only issue I had with the new one was the entire premise of the movie.
Really?
Yeah. So So what's the mission, right? The mission is they have to strike that target or whatever, right?
Correct.
That's hard to get to because it's in some position. Because some other country somewhere
unnamed
might be developing nuclear technology.
True.
Who the fuck are we?
True.
To just go do that.
But
nobody says okay. We didn't go through the UN. We didn't talk to anybody else about it. We're just America unilaterally is like, I'm gonna go blow some shit up.
Well, yes, because that's kind of
bothers me.
Like me, I got offended when Russia invaded the Ukraine. Not because they invaded the Ukraine. I just simply, well, hold on here. We're the only ones that go and invade. Where do you guys get off thinking you can do this?
Yeah. Saying you're liberating them.
Like, come on now. That was our thing. Why are you stealing our thing?
That's my game.
Like, that's what we do.
I'm taking my ball. I'm going home. Let's see.
People are like, that's the only thing you're mad over? And I go, no, but it's pretty funny, like, when you say it that way. Like,
yeah, that was, I mean, that so again, the whole premise, like, that's the reason we need to do this. If we just assume, okay, I agree that is a thing.
Okay.
Then yeah, the whole rest of the movie's great. But it's like, it started off with that, I was like, wait a minute.
But
that's not good under international law. That's not okay in laws of war. I'm like, oh my god, none of these things make any sense.
But you have to I've told people this all the time.
Oh, you couldn't hear what movie you said. Top Gun.
Top Gun. Oh,
the new Top Gun.
Top Gun Maverick. I am a diehard Top Gun fan.
So he's been listening to us
the whole time.
Just
it's like, what are these two guys saying?
Griping about it.
There's what the hell is it? You have to.
I gotta stop yawning.
When it comes to military films, I think you have to suspend at least your knowledge somewhat of what really goes on with inside the military.
I don't know. Heartbreak Ridge is pretty good.
Heartbreak Ridge is probably the most accurate Marine Corps movie
it's
there
pretty
is.
Good.
Because
he's like,
Force Recon, especially in the 80s, they were crying for sure when they were at Camp Lejeune, 52 area, Camp Hamilton, jumping out of CH-46s. And yes, of course, you stand on the ramp that long and don't miss the drop zone ever.
Yeah. When he's like, all right, get your gear, we gotta get out of here. They're like, you got your boots on, and you got your rifle. You can march into combat. Let's go. You clearly have none of your stuff you're supposed to have.
You have that boot lieutenant that's like,
yeah.
Like, wait, did this guy even go through BRC? Like, how did he get put in charge of this? Wait, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
But
so
it is a great movie.
Yeah.
I
think I'm gonna go a completely different direction. Shawshank Redemption.
Oh.
Is probably one of my favorite films of all time. So.
I mean, if we're being like
film, he said film.
Yeah.
So
okay, so I'm kind of old school in this sense. Like, to me, it's either going to be Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory,
okay, solid.
or The Wizard of Oz. Like, I'm a big fan of
those foundational movies that made you.
Yeah, absolutely. Gene Wilder's amazing in Willy Wonka.
He's also good in, was it Trading Places?
He's great in everything. Blazing Saddles, the most racist movie ever.
Punisher says John Wick is his favorite movie.
Now, is it just me, or is John Wick kind of like a remake of The Matrix? Not a remake, but it's like The Matrix 2.0, I guess.
So I thought the original, like the John Wick, what it made me think of was a movie called Equilibrium. I don't know if anybody ever saw it. So it came out around the same time as The Matrix, so it ended up kind of getting overshadowed by it. And it was Christian Bale, and it's this like dystopian future.
Oh.
And they do these things called gun kata, and like it's crazy martial arts, ass whooping, guns shooting, and like it's pretty interesting. So the whole idea, I think, the premise is that the society in the future has developed a pill that stops you from having any of your emotions at all.
Oh, that would be weird.
And so you don't have any of these feelings, and so you can actually function as a society. Nobody gets angry, but then that also means nobody feels joy, right? So then, of course, there's going to be these rebel groups going against the no feelings people, who just
as a society?
go on. Right. Yes, they created a society around that concept.
Oh,
In order to do that, they developed this police force with the ones who do the gun kata thing or whatever. And so then somehow the kind of the strategy they come up with is to try to get one of them to end up being able to come to the feels. It's pretty good. I actually it's up there. It's as far as like, and it's got a very very little following. Like most people never even seen it, but yeah, it's pretty good. Equilibrium. It's in the
number 10.
It's a lot. It's in the case of like these are like the movies I would take to the island with me.
Ooh,
you know,
the island.
Yeah.
On Zoom, I think. No wonder I'm not getting audio. You have to click the microphone
on the Zoom call.
Yeah, to whatever the audio output.
I wasn't sure if you were ready for that. Back to Zoom.
Yeah, I'm.
No, it's unmuted.
But what's the microphone say? Or if you click on the.
What is it?
Yeah, which one is
coming
it?
From? Snow. Snowball. Got it.
Maybe. Yeah, there we go.
Should be able to hear it now.
Or whatever the.
Well, I now it's no point in sharing if you can't see editing the video.
You got to change the. Why is it doing that?
It's just the video portion. Like he could see. You can see my mouse. You can see it move the bar. It just doesn't do the preview.
Is it not? Oh, is that? Are you doing it as a screen share?
No. So maybe I should try that instead of sharing the app itself, but just sharing the screen.
Maybe.
Let me try that.
I know that sometimes is a problem.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Just go to project work. That seemed to work. I just changed the way it was capturing. Instead of being automatic, I set it to Windows and it works.
Sweet.
Seems to be good. Now you
Radio
can see what I see.
Only once.
Every radio operator has his day.
True. That's the most like unrewarding MOS there is in Marine Corps, because everybody expects comms to always work, regardless. Which I get the point. It should. However,
comma, positive effect.
Mm-hmm. The point of, well, yes, when it doesn't work, you become the worst Marine that ever walked the face of the earth.
I have like a way to do this countdown that's fast, but I can't remember how to do it. It's been a long time since I made my original like countdown timer.
I'm trying to figure it out. Oh.
See y'all. Yeah, y'all are seeing it now. Hacksaw Ridge.
Hacksaw Ridge, what?
That's actually a pretty newer one, right?
Is that an actual thing, or?
It's battle in Okinawa. Yeah, I think Hacksaw Ridge was a pretty new one, maybe a year or two ago, because we were talking about Heartbreak Ridge earlier, so my head immediately went to like, oh, you spelled it wrong. But
yeah, that's what I thought.
But no, that's the newer one that was like a battle in Okinawa one.
I have not actually seen any of the newer what the hell is it? Like video, like movies. Top Gun, the new Top Gun was the most recent. I'm so out of date when it comes to movies right now that it is absolutely